Hello, hello, hello. Come on, everybody, start talking. It's a lovely Monday. It's a beautiful day. It's a little 50 what? It says 50 degrees, but it's lower than 50. But it's alright. Oh, Biden's gonna be in trouble. That's what I can tell you. I don't know. We got all these little fancy little likes here. Got 12 of y'all here, and not one person knows how to talk. Man, what is going on with y'all? Yes, we are going to go to, and I gotta heat up some food there, and then we are gonna get on going. All right. But in the meantime, we're gonna sit, talk for a little bit until we get where you're wondering. Because I know trolls, he just likes to sit here. He just don't say nothing. Alright, you could have turned by now. It doesn't say don't turn red there. Just learn how to drive. Come on. There you go. Maybe the trolls can help you how to drive. Twelve of y'all here and 7 likes. Man. Well, you know what? Y'all can start talking. You know? I guarantee your little bitch will give you permission to talk. And that's him. He's a bitch boy. Well, you know, he might be a fucking he-she. You never fucking know these days. We're gonna call him bitch he-she. Because he might be one of those fucking he-she's. He doesn't realize there's only 2 genders in life. Them fucking trolls today fucking drive like little girls. Grandpa fucking heat sheet on lower. I use the fucking gas pedal these days. Fucking dummies. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna eat up some food there because you know what? I've been all day. I haven't got a chance to even get to Amelia. So I'm gonna eat some food. Oh, I know. Have your meal and everybody else is gonna, oh, you know, you could just go to McDonald's, you could buy some food there. Yeah, you can. I can do that, but guess what? I don't want it. I don't want that shit. I want something else, okay? Well, you know, we could give you guys a little bath first and I'll get some food afterwards. Don't worry about it, Charles. You'll be fine. You're not gonna hit the walls. Or the little gate arm, okay? It's all right. Guys, they were clean, looks like. Here it comes.
Welcome to Gas and Wash. Car in neutral.
Car in neutral.
No steering. No wipers. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
All right, trolls, here we go. Well, you know what? You gotta start talking there. Man, you guys don't say nothing. I don't know what's going on with y'all. You guys are like lost. let's go. I gotta go here. Get some food. And park and handicap controls. No handicap here for me. I don't do that. So we're gonna. I could turn the thing on, but there's no one here. But I could turn it on until is anybody gonna start talking or what? I mean, I'll get the video, keep you control the table a little bit. Yes, I put a hat there, something to hold the phone up there, okay? Alright? Is that okay with you guys? Yes, we're gonna look right down there. Okay. Give you guys something to look at for a while. I'll get some food real quick. Alright, here we go. Oh yeah. Okay, why did I put that down? We gotta play it louder so y'all can hear it.
Bluetooth connect.
Oh boy, here we go. Finally. Bluetooth connect. You trolls probably heard about the, I know if you really want to know the truth, tomorrow the JFK fellow comes on tomorrow. I cannot wait.
Ladies and gentlemen, the news of the morning is a post from President Trump early this morning about the auto pen scandal. Now, this is something that we've been covering for quite a while on the program, but it is something that President Trump has really focused in on as of late. Now, of course, our show is very biased towards telling the news in memes, and so let's begin with the meme that President Trump posted. That really gets to the heart of the issue here. Donald Trump, with the wall of presidents over the last decade and a half, here we go, 2017, you have President Trump in his first term. Of course, before Donald Trump went mugshot chic, Donald Trump, 2025 president, what happened in between was a robotic pen. If you're unfamiliar with this scandal, what is happening here is there's a full-scale investigation that has found that Joe Biden did not sign any documents in his presidency. This raises some major constitutional questions that we'll get to in just a moment, but how did it happen? There's a system called AutoPen that effectively inputs a signature and then allows for that signature to be placed on any document that's fed into the machine. But what the oversight investigative group found was that this AutoPen has been used time and time and time again to effectively sign executive orders, laws, pardons, commutations. You'll note that when you place a signature on a piece of paper, it's similar. And it typically follows the same junctures, right? The ups and the downs and the swoops and the letters. You can identify people's handwriting. But there's no two signatures that they're the exact same. Go ahead and check your checkbook or wherever you sign documents. We have a member of our staff who's currently buying a house, signing a lot of documents. Your signatures are never exactly a match. They never do what's happening right now on your screen, where they completely overlay perfectly all together. That never happens. So what's going on here exactly? What's happening? What scholars are saying, doing this research, is that Joe Biden clearly didn't know that he was signing various documents, incredibly important documents from his administration. Now, this, of course, comes as no surprise to any of us who've watched Joe Biden in his fake White House, watched Joe Biden get dolted around the stage by Jill. Watch Joe Biden, grab me that clip. I want that clip of Joe Biden, his final cabinet meeting where Joe Biden took over. Get me that. That and Joe Biden in the fake White House. The entire administration was like a practice in humiliation to the American public and the American people. Joe Biden getting led around by the nose and being inside of a fake White House for the, like, why wouldn't you just use the Resolute desk inside of the Oval Office, the most powerful office in the world? There are various seats of power all throughout the globe. There's the Reichstag, there's Buckingham Palace, there's Kremlin, there's various parliaments and congressional buildings all throughout the planet. But nothing holds the kind of power that the Oval Office has, and they never let Joe Biden use it. What does that say about who Joe Biden was? What does it say about this system? Do you have the fake Oval Office? Yeah, okay, all right. What does it say about him? And when we were live a couple weeks ago when Joe Biden was giving Donald Trump was giving a cabinet meeting. First one. And it was like a 3.5 hour extemporaneous romp. It was really fun to watch. It was very entertaining. Elon Musk kind of took over half of it, and then he went through, and you have all these cabinet secretaries, and everyone's jousting and gesticulating, and J.D. Vance jumps in there, and RFK jumps in there. Like, what's with Joe Biden's cabinet meeting? Like, what's going on with these? No, not that clip. No, not that clip. I want the clip of Joe Biden, not that one. I want the one of Joe Biden throwing to Jill. We need to have Joe Biden's, like, opening responses, because you have to understand, like, what we've all been through. Here's Joe Biden at the fake Resolute desk. It's like a teeny Fisher-Price desk. They did this to humiliate him. They did this to humiliate our country. And they wanted you to know. They wanted you to know that he wasn't really president.
When exploring new credit cards, you should know what you're getting into. With hundreds of offers, Credit Karma curates relevant options for you and shows you approval odds, so it's easier to find your way to the right card for you. Intuit Credit Karma.
Wasn't really president. And now it seems like we have the proof. So this is the auto pen scandal. Let me know, Klein, when we have that full. I want just that full clip of Joe Biden. It's hard to believe that it's real. I know that we posted it on X. It's hard to believe that it was actually real, that we lived through this. Joe Biden at his cabinet meeting. But, oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. Before we move on, I just want to let you, here was the state of Joe Biden at the very end, all right? This is particularly bad. We are cherry picking here because we're choosing the very end of whatever you want to call his hospice residency at the White House. But check this out. Does this seem like a guy in his right mind? Go.
Jill is here today. Heard that clapping. It wasn't for me when we came in. Here across previous administration, First Ladies have attended these meetings for specific reasons. This is the first time Jill has joined us, and it goes to show how important the issue is, which she's about to speak to the both of us. Today, at the top of our meeting, Jill is going to give an update on the House initiative, White House initiative, to fundamentally change the approach and fund how we approach and fund women's health services. So I'd like to turn it over to Jill and for any comments she has. And it's all yours, kid.
Thank you. You know, sometimes the White House surprises you.
And then Joe Biden takes over the entire meeting. It seems like it's important to establish what we've all lived through. Like what we all just went through. That was considered the president of the United States. This man who can barely read off his note cards and then tosses to his wife. Out of desperation. Clearly doesn't know where he is, and most importantly, where he's signing documents. Check this out from the Oversight Project that discovered this. Biden autopen pardons on vacation. Who's behind this autopen on 12/30 of 2022? That pardoned.
Hello, how you doing? How you doing? Hold on a second, buddy.
Hold
on, I'll be back.
While Joe Biden was vacationing and golfing in the U.S. Virgin Islands, so he wasn't even stateside. He was hundreds of miles off our coast. Note, they all say they are signed in the city of Washington. Our autopen investigation continues. The hell is this? So let's click through. There it is. That's the autopen signature. These are the commutations there and the pardons for dangerous criminals. Here's a photo of Joe Biden taken on the exact same day, golfing at the Buccaneer in Christiansted, U.S. Virgin Islands, December 30th, 2022. Here he is, golfing, not signing or doing anything, and every single one of the signatures say signed in Washington, D.C., and every signature was an exact match. So at what point do you ask the question, do these withstand legal scrutiny? Are they real? We just lived through a fake presidency. This was all being fed into a document signing machine. Joe Biden had no idea. And if he has no idea that he's doing it, then clearly the Constitution says they're not valid. This is a real scandal. It seems like Donald Trump is very much looking forward to getting to the bottom of it. Here we go. The post that broke the internet this morning, the pardons that sleepy Joe Biden gave to the Unselect Committee for Political Thugs and many others are hereby declared void, vacant, and of no further force or effect because of the fact that they were done by autopen. In other words, Joe Biden did not sign them, but more importantly, he did not know anything about them. The unnecessary pardoning of documents were explained to or approved by Biden. He knew nothing about them, and the people that did may have committed a serious crime. Therefore, those in the Unselect Committee, those who destroyed and deleted all evidence they obtained during their 2-year witch hunt of me, and many other innocent people, should fully understand that they are subject to the investigation at the highest level. The fact is, they are probably responsible for the documents that were signed on behalf, without knowledge or consent, of the worst president in history of the country, crooked Joe Biden. This is particularly dangerous for a number of individuals who were pardoned. It seems like President Trump is getting at the pardons that were issued in the last seconds of Joe Biden's residency at the White House. Those pardons would include Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, and Dr. Fauci.
Yep.
Along with his family. So, what happens
Happy
next?
St. Patty's Day to you, buddy.
Donald Trump was at the Department of Justice on Friday. We were honored to be there. We have that little interview with Mike Flynn. I'd love to pop that one up because Mike Flynn is sounding off on this today. Donald Trump at the Department of Justice saying, we got real problems here, and these aren't legal, and we're going to need to investigate and find out. Let's go.
Time to lock in for tournament season this March Madness.
Who's all here? Are
Switch
you
to
there?
TurboTax and have a tax expert lock in your taxes so you can get back to watching basketball.
And find out. Let's go.
we have thousands of murderers, that Biden and his incompetence, first of all, he's grossly incompetent, but that Biden and his people and his probably auto-pen, which it looked like we had an auto-pen for a president, and we would have been better off if we had probably. But it looks to me like, that's a big subject. I'm sure you won't ask about that, but the whole subject of auto-pen, did he know what he was doing? Did he authorize it? Or is this somebody in an office, maybe a radical left lunatic, just signing whatever that person wants? That's not what it's all about. I never use it. I mean, we may use it as an example to send some young person a letter. It's nice, we get thousands and thousands of letters, and letters of support for young people, for people that aren't feeling well, etc. But to sign pardons and all of the things that he signed with an auto pen is disgraceful.
Ladies and gentlemen, I got my clips out of order. That was President Trump this morning on Air Force One, talking about the auto pen as a rejoinder to that post on Truth Social, and then also at what he said at the Department of Justice this past week. Again, we were there listening to this, and it was pretty chilling. I say, you're getting into very unique waters here. I look forward to talking to Mike Davis about it.
I don't know. That's a good question.
What is constitutional? How would you know if Joe Biden actually signed these documents, if he even knew about them? I guess you have to call him in. You have to ask him under oath. And the Department of Justice has already ruled on that in the Hur report, saying that Joe Biden is not competent. He's not cognitively capable, which is crazy. Here we go.
Crooked Joe Biden got us into a real mess with Russia and everything else he did, frankly, but he didn't know about it, and he, generally speaking, signed it with auto pen. So how would he know? That auto pen is a big deal. I don't know. They're having who's doing this? So when my people come up, Will and all of the people, Steve, they come up and, sir, this is an executive order. They explain it to me, and 90% of the time I sign it. 99% of the time I say do it, but they come up and I sign it. But you don't use auto pen. It's number one, it's disrespectful to the office. Number two, maybe it's not even valid because. Who's getting him to sign? He had no idea what the hell he was doing. If he did, all of these bad things wouldn't be happening.
Insane. What happens next? And it's a great question. What happens when you have a president that's non-compos matus? And we have a 25th Amendment that's set up for these things. But what about if the president didn't know who the hell he was or what was happening during his presidency, and there was a regime that was fraudulently signing things? I mean, consider this. Hunter Biden could have signed his own pardon inside the White House.
Hunter,
fed his own pardon into the
Africa now.
President Trump saying these executive orders and pardons are not legal, null and void.
Yep.
Because Biden didn't have any idea that they were taking place. Here we go.
Are those executive orders, those pardons from the former president now null and void?
Well, I think so. It's not my decision. That'll be up to a court. But I would say that they're null and void because I'm sure Biden didn't have any idea that it was taking place. And somebody was using an auto pen to sign off and to give pardons to, as an example, just one example, but the J6 Unselected Committee. Think of it, they gave pardons with an auto pen. I don't think Biden knew anything about it. And what they did is they deleted and destroyed all of the information that took them over a year to get.
So here's the proof of that. J6 Committee Vice Chairwoman Liz Cheney was communicating with witness Cassie Hutchinson on an encrypted app Signal about her testimony without the knowledge of Hutchinson's attorney. Amazing. This is the individual that claimed that Donald Trump went berserker mode and charged the Secret Service, smashed through the bulletproof glass inside of the Secret Service limousine, grabbed the steering wheel, and drove himself to the U.S. Capitol during January 6th. This is Cassie Hutchinson's testimony that changed the fourth time she sat before this committee. She worked for Mark Meadows at the White House. It changed because we have the receipts. Liz Cheney demanded she change it, demanded she lie, and then they destroyed the evidence. to try and cover it up. You can see it here, how much they are communicating together. New texts reveal Liz Cheney communicated with Cassie Hutchinson about her select committee testimony without her attorney's knowledge, despite Cheney knowing it was unethical. And then she immediately changed her story. This is the report from the House Select Committee on January 6th. You can see here all of the documentation. At what point does Liz Cheney get forced to answer questions under oath about this? In her book, it would comprise of the Select Committee's investigation, advising witnesses and suggesting new legal representation. Cheney failed to acknowledge in her own book herself that she provided Hutchinson with a new attorney and with a new story. She provided that attorney pro bono, probably U.S.A. money. Hutchinson told a conflicting story about Cheney's role in her legal representation. The entire story here is a mess. And we have the receipts. And they destroyed evidence, which is, of course, illegal. The January 6th committee has deleted records and hid evidence. January 6th committee allegedly promoted hearsay, and Cheney picked information to promote its political goal, according to Representative Loudermilk. They have a full-scale investigation that's been going on for 2 years now, and I gotta tell you, man, I really look forward to getting Liz Cheney under oath. Adam Kinzinger is already stressed out about this. He's producing videos where I'm not sure if he's in tears just yet, but it sure seems like he's on the brink of crying. Here's Adam Kinzinger in his car responding to this morning. You can tell that they are quite scared. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
The most difficult countries you can play in Supremacy 1914. When you start a new match in Supremacy 1914, the whole world is against you. So be careful when choosing your country. Choosing Chile as a...
Here we go.
Saw that Trump is like threatening the January 6th committee again. Listen, this dude knows he
actually is on the verge of tears. You can see it right here. You can see that. You ever seen anyone who like can't show you the whites? You can see that he is actually on the verge of tears.
Threatening the January 6th committee again. Listen, this dude knows, he knows that this is like the thing that embarrasses him. He won't admit it embarrasses him because he's trying to like pretend like he didn't do anything. He's obsessed. He's more obsessed with like me and Liz Cheney than his freaking golf score. Hey, Trump, bring it on, dude. You weak, whiny, tiny man who, by the way, I saw a picture of you this weekend. You're hiking up your pants now to really just below your man boobs, and you're sweating so much. Like, looking pretty bad there. But bring it, man. Like, stop with all the big mouth talking stuff. You're a grown man. You don't talk like one, but you're a grown man. Come on, dude. Bring it.
Let me get that photo. Give me that photo of Donald Trump killing the leader of ISIS. Give me that photo that he's talking about.
Like a little bitch.
This is an incredible picture of President Trump leaving the golf course in Florida to go to his skiff to go kill the leader of ISIS. This is what Adam Kinzinger is complaining about. This is him talking smack to Donald Trump. I don't think it's going to work out well. I don't think this will end well for Adam Kinzinger. So, right, this is President Trump, the commander-in-chief literally calling in the strike to kill the leader of ISIS. President Trump taking action against the Houthis and defend the U.S. shipping assets and deter terrorist threats. For too long, America's economic and national security threats were under assault by the Houthis, not under this presidency. Producers, do we have footage of the bombings? I think we had that from the weekend because I think I'm getting my terrorist bombings out of order. So, yes, they attacked the Houthis and they also killed the leader of ISIS. There is a lot of fear over this, and I think there's good reason for it. This hits at the absolute heart of the question, which is, was Joe Biden a legitimate president? Did Joe Biden have the capacity to serve at all? We've been making that argument for a very long time. The answer is clearly no. Garland.
What do you think,
Joe
Joe?
Biden's own
You think
DOJ
he's able to run?
found the answer to be no. There it is. Beautiful. Here, this is the leader of ISIS getting smoked. Okay, this is a leader of ISIS in Afghanistan getting smoked right here. Just not wanting to deprive you of what President Trump would be watching on that screen as Adam Kinzinger makes fun of him and says, "Bring it on." F around and find out, man. Somebody who also effed around and got himself a pardon was Dr. Fauci. We've covered for an extended period of time, and there was new breaking news on all of this weekend, that everybody knew that COVID leaked from a lab. Somebody created that virus. Somebody paid for the creation of that virus, and that individual was Dr. Fauci. It's a pretty easy story if you trace it all back, but it goes like this. Dr. Fauci has been a barnacle in the federal government forever, since the 1970s. He's the longest serving bureaucrat, highest paid bureaucrat. The reason he's the highest paid bureaucrat was he was put in charge of the U.S. bioweapons program after September 11th. It's something called the Patriot Act, where he worked directly with the Pentagon and the CIA in order to create bioweapons. Dr. Fauci created bioweapons. He called it gain-of-function research, but he was literally just taking pathogens and making them deadlier and transmissible to human beings. Dr. Fauci had a bad record of those pathogens leaking from labs. Those labs were here in the United States of America. Barack Obama, to his strange credit, but credit where credit is due, banned Fauci from doing gain-of-function research because he kept having viruses leak. So there was a total ban on gain-of-function research here in the States. Dr. Fauci needed to continue his evil experimentation for whatever purpose, right? We now know the purpose. And so he brought that offshore. They went to Ukraine. They used the Biden family to get into Ukraine. They went to China, and they continued their gain-of-function research. The COVID virus itself, when you look at it molecularly, is impossible to have originated zoonotically. There's a fancy term for somebody, effed a pangolin. That was an official story, right? Like, they said that Donald Trump's saying racist for saying the China virus, but all these people said that COVID came from Chinese people eating bats. That's what they decided. That's the official story that they came up with, is that there were too many Chinese people walking around eating bats off the street. So, leave it to you as to which one is more racist. So the bat-eating Chinese, they ate so many bats that they just created COVID. That's the official story. That's one story. The other story is that when you look at the COVID virus molecularly, you can see that there is a cleavage site where a spike protein was added, and that spike protein is what makes it transmissible to humans and deadly. That COVID virus, the original one, comes from the horseshoe bat that lives in southeast China, high up in the caves. You have to go up and get the bats. They don't like human beings. They live far away from human beings. But they're natural repositories of the COVID virus. And you have to extract that virus, physically add a spike protein to make it deadly to human beings. And that's how you get COVID. Anybody who has like a basic function, I went to community college. Anybody who has like a baseline functioning of biologics, like that could just read a book, can find these things out. That COVID is impossible to have happened in a natural origin story. Now they covered this up. You'll remember that the CIA said, we don't know. Turns out that Dr. Fauci was bribing them. Whistleblowers say that the scientists at the CIA were bribed by Dr. Fauci to try and keep this down. Of course, COVID was released at the perfect time to destroy President Trump. President Trump was riding high. He was going to win re-election in a landslide. Donald Trump at full force, at full power against Joe Biden, give me a break. In 2020, please. It's all a joke. Of course, they rigged the primaries for Joe Biden and so on, but what they did was they destroyed Donald Trump's economy, and they did it from the inside. I've never spoken about this, but one of the scariest, creepiest things that ever happened to me was we were called into Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's office. Mike Pompeo, of course, of the CIA, right? Mike Pompeo had his security clearances stripped. his Secret Service taken away. Mike Pompeo of the CIA is sitting there in the State Department, and there's like a few reporters are called in. And so I get called in. I'm sitting there, it's my phone. And Mike Pompeo, it was right when COVID was kind of hitting. And Pompeo tells this small group of journalists, we may have to shut down the country for a couple weeks. And everyone laughed because it was so insane. They're like, no way he could be telling the truth. They're like, this is obviously a joke, right? They're going to shut down the country for a couple weeks. That's exactly what they did. It was planned. I'm telling you, man, they had this planned. And they destroyed Trump's economy. They caused massive destabilization. They kept running those tickers with all the numbers. It was an op. It was an op run on Donald Trump. It was a deep state op run on Donald Trump. COVID was a bioweapon that we paid for, that they released to destroy Trump. And the they is Dr. Fauci. And how do I know this with such certitude? Because we have weaponized autism at this program, and that weaponized autism causes us to go through speeches and videos that nobody's ever watched and find little nuggets like this. Here's a nugget of Dr. Fauci. This is going to shock you if you haven't seen this footage. He's speaking at Georgetown. He's speaking to some stupid lunch. There's probably 50 people there. Nobody's paying attention. You can hear like the silverware clang and everyone eating their salads instead of listening to Dr. Fauci. And he says something that's so revealing about what he's about to do. Now, President Trump's about to be sworn into office the next day. They're doing this little luncheon, whatever, the next day. And listen to what Dr. Fauci has to say about the Trump term. Go.
Is that there is no question that there will be a challenge to the coming administration in the arena of infectious diseases, both chronic infectious diseases in the sense of already ongoing disease, and we have certainly a large burden of that, but also there will be a surprise outbreak. And
yeah.
Haley, can you grab Remy's food?
Yay!
Good job, sweetie. We've been feeding Remy the farmer's dog for a little over 3 years, which is
outbreak. And
wait a second. You ever heard anybody in our federal health department ever speak like this? There's going to be a surprise outbreak. I can tell you with 100% certitude that there's going to be a surprise outbreak in the next administration, he says. I mean, certainly that would be cause for alarm if somebody in Dr. Fauci's position says that. How would you know? What are you doing? Why are you doing these things? After that surprise outbreak that Dr. Fauci promised with 100% certitude, he was dragged before Congress and he was asked about his gain of function by one member of Congress. That's it, by this experimentation. One. It's such a smoking gun, and there's only one guy smart enough to really ask about it. This is Rand Paul. And Rand Paul, who's himself, of course, a doctor, good doctor, not an evil doctor, says, you created COVID. You created the virus. You have a history of creating these mutant viruses and leaking them, and you did it again. Of course, we know that Rand Paul is now officially correct here. And for the first time ever, you've seen Dr. Fauci doing hundreds of thousands of interviews, documentaries, yipping and yapping all over the place. For the first time ever, you're going to see something. You're going to see Dr. Fauci shaking. Watch.
Want to understand that if you look at those viruses, and that's judged by qualified virologists and evolutionary biologists, those viruses are molecularly impossible to result in SARS-CoV-2.
Caused the pandemic. We're saying they are gain-of-function viruses because they were animal viruses that became more transmissible in human, and you funded it.
And you
admit the truth.
And you implying...
Paul, your time has expired, and I will allow witnesses who come...
You've never seen it. Hundreds of thousands of hours of Dr. Fauci interviews, some of them kind, some of them not. You've never seen Fauci shake like that. They caught him. Rat's been caught. He got a pardon from Donald Trump. What? I'm sorry, he got a pardon from Joe Biden, correction. And it's Donald Trump saying that pardon is null and void. Why would you pardon Dr. Fauci? What admission of guilt? I mean, how much more can you admit to? He straight up says he's about to release a virus.
Yeah.
He says it on camera he's about to release a virus during President Trump's administration. He promises it.
Who's all there? I got more. Well, just we're gonna watch more, but please stay tuned for tomorrow. Tomorrow is a big day. Tomorrow, the JFK file will be released tomorrow, according to Trump. So, okay. So, no, supposedly tomorrow, the JFK file is coming out totally tomorrow. I cannot wait for it. Okay, let's get to the other. We'll watch that too real quick.
Before was wide open border, run your operation in our inner cities, phone a friend, tell them to come to. And the thing that's so heartbreaking, you just look at the statistics on girls alone, 40%. And some say it's even higher, are sold into trafficking, sex slavery. It's a money making for the cartels. And here's the thing. These are foreign terrorist organizations. We don't give them or afford them the same accord that we do an existing state. So we're going to treat them just like we do the Houthis, ISIS, and all the other terrorist organizations out there. And they do not get the same, kind of declaration of war, say, an enemy country gets. They are treated differently.
So, since when have we declared war and not fought war? We've been fighting all sorts of wars without an official declaration of war that the media and Democrats have had no problem with. Advisor Waltz, thanks for joining The Angle. We appreciate it. All right, late this afternoon, that federal judge I just mentioned, James Boasberg, tried to kind of play president again. He scolded the administration over its response to the deportation suspension.
During this high-stakes hearing, the judge was clearly not happy with the Justice Department's responses. The judge was shaking his head, clearly frustrated. He said, it's clear, his powers do not lapse at the continent's edge. The judge summed up how he viewed the Justice Department's argument, saying, we don't care. We'll do what we want.
Joining me now, Mike Davis, president of the Article 3 Project, former clerk for Justice Gorsuch. Mike, so during that hearing today, this Obama-appointed judge was clearly very irked and said that his orders don't seem to carry much weight. Your take on if this judge has a strong legal grounding for what looks like his reasoning that this was unconstitutional on the part of the Trump administration?
Jeb Boasberg, this D.C. Obama judge, is way out over his skis, and he's taken the judiciary off a cliff here. He is ordering the president of the United States during the middle of a national security operation with terrorists, very dangerous terrorists, working with our allies down in El Salvador. This judge thinks he's going to hold a hearing, which could leak out and put this operation in jeopardy, put American lives in jeopardy and our allied lives in jeopardy, and to have him order the president and his team to return two planes full of terrorists to American soil. We see the video. We see the security measures that are in place in El Salvador for these terrorists when they landed. We didn't have these security measures in place in America for this plane that was supposed to be turned around. Of course, they need to take these planes to El Salvador and not follow this judge's lawless order.
Well, over at CNN late today, Eli Honig, who's no fan of this administration, I don't think, he even said that even though you need the invasion, you need a sense that actually occurred, and that this is taken in a way that really addresses a true invasion or some type of incursion. He said that it looks like, in his view, the court could very well uphold this if it went all the way to the Supreme Court. So that's why I asked Waltz, why wouldn't they just keep doing this? I mean, what's the remedy that could be put in place for the, you're the Article 3 project guy. What remedy do they have, the court, if the Trump administration says, no, we're not stopping?
I don't say this lightly. I've never said this. They need to ignore this lawless order. We have our national security on the line. When you have these foreign terrorists who are invading America, they are raping, kidnapping, torturing, and murdering Americans. The president has a constitutional duty as commander-in-chief to get them the hell out of America.
That's right.
Mike, is this the best case, given how graphic some of these, horrific crimes were? Is this the best case to go to the court on the nationwide injunctions as well, and make it a double?
Look, I would say this: the Chief Justice 2 weeks ago missed the opportunity to tell these activist judges to back down and not sabotage the Article 2 executive powers of the presidency when he let Judge Ali force the president to spend $2 billion in foreign aid against his will. The Chief Justice needs to get his judicial house in order.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. And just ahead, Democrats hit with a hard dose of reality. They have shuttered agencies. They have Capitol Hill dance videos. They've tried to put on a brave face, haven't they?
And they are done.
And to message resilience, even in defeat. So how's it going for the Democrats?
A brand new exclusive.
When exploring new credit cards, you should know what you're getting into. With hundreds of offers, Credit Karma curates
a brand new exclusive CNN poll that paints a brutal reality for Democrats. Americans' favorable views of the Democratic Party's brand are at a record low, just 29%. It is the lowest ever recorded for Democrats in CNN polling, going back more than 30 years.
Terrible, terrible, terrible. 29%. NBC News, you want to go lower than that? How about 27%? Both are record lows. The lowest going back to 1992 in CNN polling. The lowest going back on record to 1990 in NBC News polling. The majority of Americans hold an unfavorable or negative view of the Democratic Party at this point.
Forget Democrats. Call them Despairocrats. It seems to be the D word of choice. They're in despair. Ask the folks at Politico. Full of despair, Senate Dems look to regroup after losing shutdown fight. And instead of looking at their own bad policies, though, their defense of criminal aliens, of government waste, their support of trans radicals, instead of looking at all those incredibly unpopular policies, they decide, let's blame the old guy with the most experience.
Let me be blunt. President Biden stayed around too long, and we got Donald Trump. If Chuck Schumer stays along, the democracy may be gone.
There's actually little that the Senate minority leader can say, and the 10 Democrats that voted with the Republicans can say, to appease somebody like me. I'm about to change my registration to independent, first and foremost.
Out of ideas, blame Chuck Schumer. All right, when he lost MSNBC, it is pretty bad. And other Trump-hating media outlets are also joining the pig pile on Schumer, even claiming he's facing a Biden moment. Joining me now, Dan Turrentine, former Democrat advisor. All right, if there's one indication, Dan, that the Democrats are in trouble, it's the new NBC right direction, wrong direction survey question. 44% of Americans say that we're going in the right
direction
now. That's the highest percentage since 2004. Obviously, Bush was in office. He won handily in 2004. Now, but when Biden was in office, the right direction number was only 27%. So, Dan, they seem to like Trump so far. So is this really a Chuck Schumer problem?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's hard to beat something with nothing. And the problem for the Democratic Party right now is we have no leadership. It's not just Chuck Schumer. It's also Hakeem Jeffries. And it was part of Kamala Harris's problem in November. We are caught between two competing forces right now. On the one hand, our base is still consumed with Trump derangement syndrome. Everything he does is awful. Everything he says is terrible. And they want to fight everything. And of course, that's neither practical nor politically sound. On the other hand, we've alienated moderates because we failed the common sense test. We can't say even on 80-20 issues, like when the little boy was recognized for his battle with cancer, we can't applaud anything because our base may be upset. And lastly, we don't even offer solutions, right? The only unifying force in the party the last 9 years has been Donald Trump. And so I think what you have now is just this paralysis where we don't know where to turn. We don't know what to do. You saw that during the CR budget debate last week. And it brings you to 27, 29% approval.
Well, Don Lemon is making headlines after questioning the sincerity of black MAGA supporters.
I think there can be sincere Republicans. But you can't be a sincere black Republican. I don't think that you can be a rational MAGA, be black and be a rational MAGA person. I think you can be black and be a Republican. I think they would find that very insulting. Well, I mean, the truth is often insulting.
Well, he's insulting our intelligence. But, Dan, is that the way to bring African-American voters back, I guess, to the Democrat fold by saying they're stupid if they're voting for Trump? Well, I'm not following that.
We offended white working class voters. We offended Latinos by telling them that they didn't kind of know what was good for them and how to think. And I guess now we're going to the next demographic by telling, black men that they don't know what's good for them. I mean, this is part of our problem. We're incredibly patronizing to people. I mean, there are even people in the party who are rooting for Trump to fail, to turn around and say, I told you so. And I just can't think of a worse rallying cry than I told you so, right? We need to be out there giving people reason to vote for us. It's what Donald Trump did. The secret to his success has always been his policies, not necessarily his personality.
All right. Dan, it's great to have you on. Thanks so much. And when we come back, Elon Musk strikes. It's time for the Daily Doge, where we reveal what Elon Musk and his team are finding deep within the government.
You may think that that the government computers all talk to each other, they synchronize. They add up what funds are going somewhere, and it's, it's coherent. That the numbers, for example, that you're presented as a senator, are actually the real numbers.
One would think.
They're not.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, they're not totally wrong, but they're probably off by 5% or 10% in some cases. So I call a magic money computer any computer which can just make money out of thin air. They're mostly at Treasury. Some are, but there's some at HHS. Some there's one or two at State. There's some at DOD. I think we found out.
They don't want you to know this, but you are being bombarded with radiation every single day. 5G towers disguised as trees. Hidden transmitters on every streetlight.
HHS. Some there's one or two at State. There's some at DOD. I think we found now 14 magic money computers.
Magic money computers. I mean, you cannot make this up, honestly. It sounds like a parody when he's saying it. But from finding made-up government money to finding completely empty office buildings.
Monday, knock, knock, nobody's home. Look at this. Got this big, beautiful area where employees are supposed to work. Nobody's here. So we're in the second headquarters at Freddie Mac. We were just in the other building. There was nobody there for miles and miles and miles. Look at these desks. They're clean. We've got a cafeteria, again, that's completely vacant. You've got food that's being prepared. The staff that makes the food is here 5 days a week, but the people who work in this building or should work in this building aren't here 5 days a week.
Guess they're not essential employees. Joining me now, Bill Pulte, who's the director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency. Director Pulte, first of all, great to have you on the show. Thank you for doing that video, because that really speaks to what's going on here. How many people are supposed to be working in those buildings? Will they be getting Doge next?
Well, and that's a good question. One of the things that we discovered pretty quickly was there was about 2,900 people that were supposed to work in the building. Turns out only 49 were showing up full time.
No, slow it down. 2,900 people? How many showed up?
On average, the highest that we saw on a 5-day work week was 49 people. And this would be at Fannie Mae.
And Freddie Mac has a similar problem. We're going to fix it. President Trump hired a businessman to do this, and we're going to fix it for him.
So there was also a basketball court. You guys have good facilities over there at Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So the basketball court, was anyone
basketball
playing?
Court was
Anyone
vacant.
playing?
Gymnasium, they had hundreds of people could fit in this gymnasium. Nobody was in there. Cafeterias, we were making food,
crazy.
Beautiful food, popcorn, all kinds of stuff, but nobody was there to eat it. But the staff there was there for the cafeteria, so we'll get our arms around it and we'll fix it.
What happened with your DEI? Because that was a directive across the government. The president wanted those things handled quickly. What happened?
We removed the 2 senior executives. DEI is dead at Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. They are safe and sound businesses, but we are going to make them safer and stronger. You know, President Trump had great businesses, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, in the first term. Now we're going to make them better, stronger than ever. And I'm very confident that these 2 businesses will be great American icons once again.
All right, Director Pulte, as DOJ is finding waste in government, you found looks like a really wasteful, outrageous Biden deal that looked pretty shady. What is the deal, and what should we know about it?
Well, I've only been on the job for about 48 hours, but what I found, and my staff came to me, was that there was this person that was a Biden insider that got essentially $2 million in payments by over a 8-month period or something like this, and she was fired. It's a bizarre thing. We need to look into it. You know, they gave President Trump such a hard time. He did nothing wrong. You know, he's the best president.
Wait, so this money was used for what?
It was given to her apparently for some severance, but after 8 months, who deserves $2.1 million? This stuff doesn't make
Wait,
make
one
sense.
person got
One person is wanting that. That's right. That's over a bank we oversee. The San Francisco Bank is what I oversee. We oversee 11 banks at the Federal Housing Finance Agency.
So people think they're not going to get loans, they're not going to be able to get, they're worried about that because of the downsizing here?
Well, I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think these banks will be very safe. I think Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac will be stronger than ever. I truly believe it. We have great staff as well at these companies. We have great...
That's crazy. What's going on? I don't want to just change. I don't want that. Sorry about that. Yeah. The video that I now tomorrow, from my understanding, tomorrow, the JFK file will be released tomorrow. That's what I heard. I hope it goes through.
Is today. Today is the day that we burn this motherfucker to the ground. My favorite day.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. We certainly do live in historic times. You can literally watch history stretch out before you in real time. And tomorrow, T-minus 20.
You heard about that? All right. So that's good that you heard about it.
The day that many people have waited their entire lives for. The day that we get the JFK.
That happened. I'm going to go live tomorrow because I heard
80,000 of them
unredacted
from the National Archives. President Trump just confirmed this, and I have the clip for you. But please, if you would allow me to explain why we haven't gotten these documents before now. Because President Trump promised to do this in 2016. Then he went through an entire presidential term without doing it. We got a few documents, but we got really nothing. Why is this happening now? There's one man who had the temerity to ask, it was Judge Napolitano, and he explains here what President Trump saw when he looked at the JFK documents.
I said, you promised you would release the records of the JFK assassination. He said to me, Judge, if they showed you what they showed me, you wouldn't have released it either. And I said, who's they and what did they show you? And then he said, Judge, someday when we're on the phone, and then he raised his voice, and there aren't 15 people listening to the phone call, back to a normal voice, I'll tell you.
Tomorrow, we're going to find out what Judge Napolitano meant there in this 4-year-old clip. Because President Trump has now promised to release all, I said all, JFK assassination files tomorrow. 80,000 pages. President Donald Trump told reporters that he will be releasing all the JFK files, said that it will be interesting, giving a little bit of a hint of what we may learn. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a tremendous amount of paper. You've got a lot of reading. I don't believe they're going to redact anything, says Donald Trump. I just said, don't redact. You cannot redact. What did Donald Trump see in these files? Here's President Trump seconds ago at the Kennedy Center announcing this.
We're at the Kennedy Center. Needs a lot of work. We're going to fix it, make it beautiful. It's a very big part of the fabric of D.C. and the Capitol. We're bringing back the Capitol. We're bringing back our country. But while we're here, I thought it would be appropriate. We are tomorrow announcing and giving all of the Kennedy files. So people have been waiting for decades for this, and I've instructed my people that are responsible, lots of different people, put together by Tulsi Gabbard, and that's going to be released tomorrow. We have a tremendous amount of paper. You've got a lot of reading. I don't believe we're going to redact anything. I said, just don't redact. You can't redact. But we're going to be releasing the JFK files, and that would be tomorrow. Do you have anything else to add to that, Carolyn? So that's a big announcement. They've been waiting for that for decades. Then I said during the campaign I'd do it, and I'm a man of my word. So tomorrow you have the JFK files. What time will they be released? Tomorrow afternoon. Okay.
Have you seen what's in the files? Have you read them?
I've heard about them.
Was there interesting?
It's going to be very interesting.
Was there an executive summary supplied to you, Mr. President?
No, I'm not doing summaries. You'll write your own summaries. It's many pages. Is it 80,000 pages? Approximately 80,000 pages. So it's a lot of stuff. And you'll make your own determination.
President Trump is a man of his word. President Trump promised just this weekend that we are moving along rapidly and everything will be released. He was talking about the Epstein files and the JFK files. Ladies and gentlemen, this is, of course, breaking the entire internet in half. Big day tomorrow, says Anna Polina Luna, who's launched a task force for the release and declassification of these files. Of course, you have to work with Congress and the Intel Committee in order to get this done. There's even a archive website here, according to Anna Polina Luna, that is already live, National Archive, JFK Kennedy Assassination Records webpage. They've been holding back 80,000 files. Everyone posting this clip, everybody saying he promises that every single document will be made public, fully unredacted, something Americans have been waiting their entire lives to see, some say decades. Massive press here at the Kennedy Center. President Trump says at the Kennedy Center, the Kennedy files will be released. Poetic there in small measure. Tomorrow marks a truly historic moment in American history. If President Trump allows all of this, America will never be the same. No matter who you voted for, this is the standard that we should hold our presidents to: complete and total transparency. What will they find? Will you find that the government assisted in the JFK assassination? Well, Tucker Carlson, doing his own reporting on that, said, yes, absolutely, and the CIA was involved.
We'll find out.
If you use castor oil, you'll grow your hair longer. If you use argan oil, you'll decrease hair loss.
Said, yes, absolutely, and the CIA was involved.
We'll find out. We spoke to someone who had access to these still hidden CIA documents, a person who was deeply familiar with what they contain. We asked this person directly, did the CIA have a hand in the murder of John F. Kennedy, an American president? And here's the reply we received verbatim. Quote, the answer is yes. I believe they were involved. It's a whole different country from what we thought it was. It's all fake. It's hard to imagine a more jarring response than that. Again, this is not a, quote, conspiracy theorist that we spoke to. Not even close. This is someone with direct knowledge of the information that once again is being withheld from the American public. And the answer we received was unequivocal. Yes, the CIA was involved in the assassination of the president. Now, some people will not be surprised to hear that. They suspected it all along. But no matter how you feel about or what you thought about the Kennedy assassination, pause to consider what this means. It means that within the U.S. government, there are forces wholly beyond democratic control. These forces are more powerful than the elected officials that supposedly oversee them. These forces can affect election outcomes. They can even hide their complicity in the murder of an American president. In other words, they can do pretty much anything they want. They constitute a government within a government, mocking by their very existence the idea of democracy. As cynical as we have become after 30 years of watching government officials ignore the voters who employ them, we were shocked to learn this. It's not acceptable. Americans have trusted their government less with every passing year since the killing of John F. Kennedy. Maybe this is why. And people have known this for a long time. The people who knew would include every director of the CIA since November of 1963. And that list would include Obama's CIA director, John Brennan, one of the most sinister and dishonest figures in American life. That list would also include, we are sad to say, our friend Mike Pompeo.
Mike Pompeo, of course, got his security clearance stripped. Tucker Carlson reporting that Mike Pompeo is the individual that convinced Trump to not release all of the files, saying that he ran into Trump's office screaming, begging Donald Trump to not release the JFK files. First time now, Mike Pompeo has been kicked out of the MAGA movement entirely. He is totally and completely banished. He had his security clearance and his private security provided by the Secret Service stripped. And now Tucker Carlson is claiming that other Republicans are desperately trying to block these files. That other Republican being Tom Cotton. Tom Cotton denies this and says that Tucker Carlson knows how to reach me. Okay? We trust Tucker on these things. Well, we'll trust President Trump. And listen, what an unbelievable moment to live in. Mike Lee saying, "Is your dad nervous?" Ted Cruz. Many people saying that Ted Cruz's dad killed JFK. I think that started with Trump. I think that started as a rumor. That started that he was like part of a Cuban mafia that assisted in the Kennedy assassination. Don't know. Ted Cruz needs to come on the program and answer these questions. President Trump, a man of his word, releasing all of the JFK files tomorrow, and a note. This is where they will be. Anna Paulina Luna has the archives press link right here. We'll put it in the description of this video. You can follow along. We will need all of the weaponized autism of the entire internet focused on this mission to find out what they have been withholding from us. Napolitano saying it was so dark and so evil. Donald Trump said it shocked me to the core. Tucker Carlson saying absolutely the CIA was directly involved in the murder of JFK. And that means you don't live in a real country. That means since the murder of JFK, we haven't actually had a real democracy. I mean, I would argue that maybe President Trump signifies a break point with the unified theory of government, what some people call the deep state. The idea that there is a total, wholly owned government above our government that has all the power. Kill at will. President Trump, of course, survived a couple bullets, missed a couple bullets. And so I think...
Alrighty. Alright, let's get this 6 here. So, if it does get released, I mean, that'd be good. I mean, I really want to watch it and see it. And I figure, we all can watch it. So I think I'll do a little live streaming tomorrow. Usually I don't go live. But if we can get it all, we can watch it. Who's out here? Man, I think the whole thing with the fact that the outlet is basically avoided, that's good. I mean, now we got the hunter and the J6 committee, man, they'll start getting the investigation. Even Fauci. Man, somebody's got their music going in here. Okay, you're there. So, Do you think that if that's something you want to do tomorrow? Let's see. Do you guys think that something you guys want me to do tomorrow? I mean, we go live tomorrow, and I don't know exactly when this JFK style is gonna come out. I have no clue. That's what I was looking online. I don't know when it's gonna come out. Hello there, happy St. Patty's Day. Happy St. Patty's Day. So the JFK style will be released according to Trump tomorrow. Can't wait. Tomorrow is gonna be a big day. But yeah, today is St. Patty's Day, and today there was a ban today, but no one donated any money to go. So I just can't keep spending money left and right. So there was a ban tonight, 6 o'clock tonight, but there was no money to go. So right now we're gonna focus on going forward in life. We're gonna wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow is gonna be a very big day. I hope that they don't do the same thing to the last time with the Epstein file. Hopefully we get everything, but you know, with our corrupted government these days, I don't trust anybody these days. We'll get this late. So I hope we get it. I really do. But I don't get my hopes up anymore because until I see it in hand. And doesn't see it all. Because just like the JFK style, all this, the Epstein style case, I mean, I got my hopes up that we were going to get it, and we didn't get nothing. All we got a piece of paper, black. No was. So, I know that Benny Johnson, everybody was getting very annoyed with that. We all got played. But let me get I don't know. So you guys, I mean, I don't have a computer. I don't have a computer. All I have is my phone. Tomorrow we can do. We can watch the JFK style. We can do that tomorrow. I usually don't go live on Tuesdays, but I mean, I'll try to see if I can find a place to go to, but I mean, and I don't have any no laptop. We're just going to do the old ways, just with the phone. But let me throw the trash out, get some water. I don't know. The weather's crazy. We had snow. We had snow, and then now it's windy. We don't know what we're going to get. look here. So I really don't know. See, I don't really want to get you guys all hyped up because I know that Trump, all the time when Trump says things, it's always true. But it's the other party, the DOJ, is the fuck us over. Trump always keeps his word there, but it's the other fucking people. So, how's the weather there today, right now? I mean, well, according to my car, it might be 50 degrees in my car. Outside, it's gonna be, I don't know. It was snowing yesterday. I don't know what the weather is right now. I have to look at the phone there. Because it keeps changing. It feels like it might be, I say my body temperature, what it feels like being outside right now. It's probably pretty close to about, I would say, about 33 degrees outside, roughly. So, yeah, that's what I think. I don't know, but I hate to really get you guys all hyped up for tomorrow. I mean, if it comes out, I don't want to disappoint nobody either. Because I know what Lenny Johnson tried to do last time with the Epstein dial, and that was like a blow in our face there, how they lied to us. And we're waiting so big there. We're waiting so big. And the Democrat Party are not like it. I mean, come on. Look at Hunter. If this little crackhead is going to be in Jason committee there, and Fauci, they're all going to be starting getting charges. Because Trump has clarified that the auto plan is a void. It's a void. It's out of there. So, when all the be patient, Sean. Yeah. So yeah, there's just a lot of things that are going on these days here. It's just I just take it day at a time. I don't a lot of times, I mean, I know Trump and them all be saying these things are all the good things, but unless I see it in person, I don't really like talk about it much. Because we got a fucked up DOJ. But right now I know the Dan Bongino, Penn Bonnie, Cash Patel, they're all there now. So we got a really good, strong team. So, and yes, we might shake. We are going to shake. There's nothing I can do about it. Because I don't have money to go buy a brand new car. See? There's nothing I can do about it. It's because my frame mount bushings are bad. There's nothing I can do about it. It's been bad for a while. The fact that I replaced the other, basically, lower control arm, it's got, basically, now that the bushing's bad on the car, it's showing me a lot more protection. There's nothing I can do about it. I don't have money to go buy all this stuff there. And I gotta keep the money I have now to buy a new car. That's the goal. So, we might get a little shake there, but it's okay. Maybe this is your time for all these trolls. Get a little shake. Wake up. Realize, smell the fucking coffee. That your Democrat Party don't care about y'all. They don't. So just like a shake in your head there. I'm doing the best I can do as a human being. I have 4 wheels, and I'm very blessed to have 4 wheels. I can get around. So, if any of you want to talk crap about my car, guess what? I don't care. Because it's 4 wheels. I have 4 wheels, and I got a roof over my head. And God is good. difference is I like my freedom. Trolls, you all like your government control. I don't. So I have freedom. I get in my car, I can go where the fuck I want to go to. No one's controlling me. But all we could do is take one time out. That's right, we do. We all love our cars. We love our vehicles that gets us from A to B or C or where we need to go to. Okay? Because God is good. We got vehicles. You know, it might not be the fancy, brand new, whatever, basically, what else, these brand new cars, but guess what? It's a vehicle. Maybe one day when it comes down, when I have the money or I get blessed, I'll buy it. If I had money to get a new vehicle, I would. But it wouldn't be like a brand new 2025. It would be something better than what I have now. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue to drive what I have. Frame mount bushings cost a lot of money. And it costs me a lot of money, and I don't have anybody that will I mean, I have to go to like a body shop, and that costs a lot of money. So, I'm not doing it. Oh, yeah. The only thing I like right now is I cannot wait. Keyword. I cannot wait until the car shows start. Oh boy, I cannot wait. But of course, this freaking weather is just stupid. I hate it. You just never know what you're gonna have here. I'm tired of it. But God is good. I'm still alive, I'm still here. So my goal is I really want to go and look at cars in the summertime. I don't know, I mean, it might come down to where maybe I might even do car shows, and we'll even go play the games like I used to do before. We'll play games at the dealership. Play the guessing game. You can learn to make a model vehicle. If you haven't learned yet, then I will tell you. It's very simple. I can't hold everybody's hands there. I can only tell you what I know certain things. But I know some people are just not, they don't believe in the tail light and the headlights and all that stuff. They'll be able to tell you to make, basically, you're the car, all that kind of stuff. People don't know things like that. But, hey, you learn. So I try not to drive the car too much because I don't want to ruin the car, but I want to drive. I really want to go drive somewhere, but I don't. I see. The thing is, I would need for me to do this job myself, I need to get a engine hoist, and I have to get an engine hoist and hold the engine up so that you can release the A-frame. In case you guys don't know what A-frame is, that's where your engine sits on. Okay, I gotta release that. That's what the frame mount bush is on, and I have to replace all of them, not just one, because all of them are bad. They're all bad. And so, but I would need an A-frame, and I would need a very nice day of weather and a place to gonna be. It'd be nice to have. I mean, you can probably do it yourself. There, it'd be nice to have somebody up there top to adjust it. Oh yes, we just watched that. Yes, that was really good there. And that judge, hitting his little ass sucking the peach. Yes, I seen that. We were watching that. That's what you watched before you came on. So, like I said, the car show is really something that I think. I like cars. I don't know how many people love cars, but I like cars. And but the other thing we'll be doing too is I want to go to swap meets. Now, you guys should know what a swap meet is. We're gonna be doing that too. You never know. I mean, you guys might see something you guys might like too. Well, of course, the only thing is, if you guys really want the item, you guys are gonna have to find a way to. You have to send me the money. Because you have to send me the money for the part and for the cost of shipping gonna be. If something it can be shipped, or I can get you in contact with the person. That's what I can do. Yes, he needs to be impeached. He needs to be impeached. His ass needs to be in jail. That's crazy. When? Early today or when? I did on here? Let me see. I don't know where he put it in. Let's see. Oh yeah, we do know that they're gonna do something. It's probably gonna happen. They're gonna block it. They might do the same thing what they did with the Jeff Epstein case. They're probably gonna do the same thing, and that's why that I call my congressman. The thing is, oh yeah, I can call them tomorrow. Not today. I call them tomorrow. But the problem is, I know that as much. I like to know it because I mean, when that hell happened, I wasn't even there yet. So, but fact that's out there. I mean, as American, all American people would like to know the truth. There, I know life will do, and I don't want to be giving you guys a hope and like a clickbait that's gonna happen and doesn't come out. And that's what scares me, because the Jeff Epstein case, I was thinking about doing it, but I don't know. And I'm glad that I didn't do it, because something tells me that this is what they're gonna do. They're gonna play us. So I just don't trust the DOJ. I don't touch them. I do not trust them. Our government has lied to us for years, and they'll continue lying. They want to make our president look like he's a liar when he's not. That's what they're doing. They will make his team look like a damn liar when he's not. So it's very important for us all to work together. Yeah, because I think I have now. Let's see. I don't even have miles I got on this car yet. Alright, shut up. All right, we got 155,890. So I got 155,890. So we're good up there. We got a lot of miles in the car. I mean, I have a lot of money in the car, but I gotta keep the car running until something good happens. I can't quit. Yes, they are. So, I mean, I still got all that merch that I need to sell still. I mean, I could sell that something that really would help you out there. If we could sell the merch there, I mean, I know that I had, I mean, the price that I basically put out there was the price that I bought it for. And hello there, Party Bonzo. So, I mean, everything I have is what I bought it for. I'm only trying to sell the items for what I bought it for. But the most I can probably do is take off, it's maybe like $5. I can't take off any more than that because I'm losing a lot of money then. That's the problem when you buy merch from people that you know. I didn't know that was another place where I could go get it to. I can get it directly for a little more less time. So, but it is what it is. But we're not, I mean, I could turn my camera around, y'all can stare at me. Maybe the trolls might make a video of me. I don't know, we'll see. So yeah, we're not gonna drive the car around or down. We're gonna take it slow until we can figure out what is going on here. I mean, people that fact that, you know, it's not really summertime. The weather's not really nice right now. Have people, I do know that the frame mount bushes are bad. Those are bad. That's nothing new. That's something I didn't know. So I know it can see me. I can see me only. But I did know the frame mount bushings have been bad. They've been bad for a while now. But it takes money. California Patriots here too. Oh boy, we got the team here today. So I don't know. Just trying to stay positive, people. Stay positive. You know, God is good. I gotta tell you guys, there always are going to be a bump in the road. But you have to learn how to get over that bump. Not just sit back and be a coward or be a loser and like, or be a quitter. You gotta learn how to fight. Okay? Just like I say, just because we got our President Trump in office, because that we have our team in office, it doesn't mean, now we just stop. No, it means get your hind ass up, get to going, get on moving. Because that's what we gotta do. I mean, we can't stop. We got the voting. The voting's still going. There's a voting coming up here. It's not the President Trump one. It's not the president one. But it's your local voting. Get that done. There's something gotta get done here. So get out there. If I had the vehicle wasn't like, if I had this major issue, I want to go out and do flag wags for it. Now I can't do anything because I got to figure out. I need an engine mount. It's called engine hoist. Okay, you just gotta get the engine, or you can probably buy. What I could do is you can buy a bar, get a way to stabilize your engine. I could probably do that. There's a bar you can buy that you put on your call it cross arm. I think those, you can get one of those there. Just get something like that where you have to get, because there's two hooks, basically one in the back, one in the front. Get two hooks on there, hook it on there, and at least hold the engine in place. Because if you don't do that, then you have the engine like this here and that transmission. And you don't want to. Call to action. There you go. There you go. Call to action. There we go. There you go. Jericho just put out there. It's call to action. It's big and proud. So I could do that. I just need a very nice day weather. Every day it's always something. One day it's hot, one day it's cold, one day it's snowing, one day it's raining. I'm just tired of being here. Oh, I call your. Well, I could probably. Let me see if I can try to do something. Jericho, why don't you write that all in one? Write that all in one. Call to action. Your Congress tomorrow. Do it all in one. And then I will pin it up there. Type it all in one. So. There you go. So. I will check right now. Hold on. Okay. Yes, and thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. At least that'll help out. That'll cover for last time. Yesterday. Thank you. That'll cover for yesterday. That'll help me. I'll put some gas in my car. Thank you. So, thank you. But yes, Jericho, retype all that again. Put it all in one. And then I could take it and pin it. Because if I try to take a picture and screenshot the whole 9 years, I think it'll look better. Put it on one. Thank you. I am very appreciative. Thank you. So, I don't know. Just trying to stay positive. You know, stay positive. That's what I'm doing. And, I mean, basically what you can do is stay positive. And, I mean, I got my Bible that I have in here. I do have my Bible. I have everything. I think I'm crazy. I do. I don't read the Bible, you guys, because I don't do that. I can turn it loud. There you go. You guys can't really see. You can now a little bit there. So I have my Bible in my car. Of course, I don't sit here and read to you guys because I don't want to. The Bible's for me to read. For me. If you want a Bible, trolls, trust me, we can get you a Bible. We can get you one from our church. There we go. That means tomorrow. That means Miana. Get on your phone. Call. Don't be scared. So, I mean, what do you guys think? Let's see what we got here. Yeah, he needs to be locked up. He needs everything. I try to call your Senate House and rip. Hey, there you go. Tomorrow. I wish I could. I know I'm learning how to do stuff here. I wish I had the fancy technology that these people have out there who are doing their restreaming. Because there's certain ways you can do certain things. And they could do it all on a computer. I don't have that kind of stuff. I'm not a technology guy. I don't own another computer. I own another used phone that I paid for that I got from somebody else that they didn't need no more. I mean, it does a job, but it's not to me, it's not professional. But I'm trying. I'm just not, I don't have a lot of money to go buy a computer and all that. Because you get a computer and then you have to get internet, you got to buy, it's just too much. Everything is just a big money spending game. It'd be nice to find somebody, find a big TV. I have a big TV that you can do like computer wise. It has the capability that you, if you guys understand, that you take a laptop and you can hook your USB, basically, you hook a cord to the TV, and that your TV will be the big monitor. You can do that. You take a small piece and make it a big monitor, and that I could put a tripod in front of it, let you guys all watch it from there. But that takes money. I don't have that. Money. So. Yeah. It's like these Democrat Party men. Why do you not want our country safe? Why are we not having common sense here? That's what I don't understand. Why you guys keep doing this here? Do you just like it fucking being basically screwed over? I mean, to me, it's common sense. I mean, what the border be secured? Set those fucking people out of here. Get them out of here. I don't want them here. But people just have no damn brain these days. You know, it doesn't make any sense. And you guys want to get mad at people. You want to get mad at the Republics, or the Trumps, or we're racist, or we're this here. But you know what? Whatever you guys do, you guys are clearly, it's okay. Anything you do, you're doing exactly what you think is right. That's what your mind is telling you. But you guys don't understand that your governor is telling you a bunch of bullshit stories, and what you're doing is wrong. It's hateful. It is very hateful, the things that you guys do. I mean, I don't understand you guys. All I can do is pray for you guys, and hopefully one of these days that you guys will wake up and start smelling the coffee and realizing that you're a damn Democrat, your fucking government's been lying to you guys for years, and it's time to wake up. Because you know what? When you guys start waking up and realizing that what you could have, and that basically, and realize that your Democrat Party been fucking you guys over, all they do is give you exactly a stick and don't even give them lubrication. They just fuck you guys over. That's how to shoot there. I know you guys probably don't like my language, but guess what? That's the truth. They give you exactly no lubrication. They gave you exactly raw. So it's time for you guys to wake up, smell the coffee, and want to make America great again. I mean, what's wrong with that? You know, Trump is trying to make things better for the American people. For the American people. Not one color, Not one party, all parties. Okay? That's how it works. A president is not just taking one side. He's trying to make everybody happy. Yeah. I cannot wait for Hunter. Well, they're saying that Hunter is right now, Hunter has decided in Africa. So I don't know. Hopefully, the thing is, I think that this whole elephant thing is, they did all this stuff here, and then Hunter had his opportunity to get out fast. He left the country. Now I hope that they could make his ass come back and lock him up. Joe Biden. Nobody has heard anything about Joe Biden and where he has landed, what's going on with him. Nothing. So, really, I don't know what's really going on anymore. We don't hear nothing about Biden. Hunter heard about on the Betty Johnson show. Supposedly he's been spotted in Africa. Oh wait, he was in South Africa. Yeah. So you wonder, maybe Biden and maybe Biden is fucking mob. Maybe they're all down there. I don't fucking know. Jill, or Jill's the doctor. Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe fucking maybe Biden's in the fucking or something. I don't know. It's a good question. Is he still alive? I don't know. He might be a nurse. He might be. I wish him luck there, but he might be. Yeah. Yes, he did. You just never know. I know that right now, the fact that the elephant has been avoided, that's all done. Now that means that the J6 committee will start getting an investigation, and they all need to be fucking arrested. Even Fauci has asked too for fucking murder, and I think that because like I said, you kill somebody, it should be an eye for an eye. And I think it's only fair enough that we give him the same treatment he gave everybody else. I don't think our tax dollars should pay for his fucking ass to sit in jail. Nope. We'll give him the same fucking treatment. We'll do a little slow torch on his ass, torch his ass, and then he'll fucking be dead. Trust me. Let him learn. We ain't gonna give him no instant fucking shot. Kill him. We're gonna let everybody fucking torch him. All the family that have lost their life, he needs to start the fucking time. I'm tired of that stuff. And I know everybody out there, yeah, it's all good, yeah. But the only thing is, if we lock up Fauci, then our tax dollar are going to pay for him to be there. That's the only thing I don't like. That's the only thing. I don't think our tax dollar should pay for his ass. Oh, yeah? So, I just don't think that our taxpayers should pay for that kind of stuff. Now, the J6 committee, anyways, a lot of American people did die today, but I know that they should get the same fucking treatment, but the problem is that we put them in D.C. jail, they probably will get away with their bullshit there. That's what scares me. They'll get in D.C. jail, and then because they probably knows them in there, and then they probably get treated like a fucking princess there. It's awesome. Yes, Trump is supposed to be with Russia. With the Putin war, yes. Yes. We're, like I said, we are winning really big here. I know that we are. You're winning really big there. But I think that we all as Americans, I don't give a fuck if you're on the Democrat or the Republican side. We all just need to now they come together. Work together. Work together. Trump has 4 years. In the 4 years, let's make the fucking America great again. Let's keep on going. Right now, Trump's doing awesome. We just gotta continue going forward. We need to fucking get rid of that damn judge. Fucking put his ass fucking impeach him, put him in jail. You know, and I was watching another one where, I should play a video there. Actually, I should play a video there. You guys might, I don't think I've seen this one. Nick, I should play this one video. I don't wanna say it too loud exactly what it was, but I can turn my phone back on. Because I turned the other phone on. Because I turned it off right away. But there's a video I was watching. I don't want to get too much detail. Don't wait. Oh yeah, interview. So we'll get the phone turned on, and then we'll play it. I start watching it. Is another DC judge. I'll give you that. You did? Well, I got the picture of that. We watched one video early today, on here about that fucking judge. I think. Come on. But I was watching another one where there was a DC judge. Well, you have a good night there, Lions. Have a good night. Let's see. We got to get this one. We could probably watch. We can watch this. This one if I could find it. If I had, I don't know if I saved it. I know I watched it. If we could find the video, if I can find it, we'll play it. You're listening, doing dishes. Well, that's good. You're staying young. Let's see. I gotta get the Wi-Fi on the other one turned back on. I think I'm ready to shut off. Well, did you do anything for St. Patty's Day? Yeah, I did shut off. Get the dice. Just realized that. Did anybody do anything for St. Patty's Day? As I'm doing my thing, trying to find the video, you guys, we all can start talking a little bit. We can multitask here. You guys can tell me what did you guys do for St. Patty's Day. I did not have a corned beef today. Did not. I had one yesterday. I didn't do one today. I wanted one, but didn't happen. So, it is what it is. Maybe next time. Hey, why is it not turning on? So that's one thing I wish I had but I didn't get any. Yes, next time. Yeah, I don't really do the cabbage. I had corned beef and sauerkraut at a ribbon sandwich. I like that. I was looking today for a place. They used to be open, but they're no longer open. They got closed down. I was looking for a place where you can have corned beef omelet. Now, to me, I like them. They're really good, but it's a corned beef omelet skillet. They're really good, but all right. So looks like Jericho got something there. We can watch that one real quick. But I could not. Yeah, they're really good there, but they're not. What I want, they're not cheap. A lot of places are not cheap right now for those. So I mean, some places want $20 for just a sandwich there. And to me, I'm sorry, but I'm a big guy. I like to eat. So one sandwich will be like a Scooby snack to me. I need at least 2, possibly 2.5. So you might think I'm kind of like, there's a lot of food. 2.5 will make you full then. One sandwich is like a Scooby snack to me. So everybody eats different. Yeah, it makes you hungry. Well, you just missed it. I went to Wally Girl because I didn't have no
carriers to re-quote their customers adjusted to the 2% inflation.
Because I didn't have no ribbon sandwich today.
Nice to see you all. Likewise. Congratulations on the golf games. Oh, thank you. All right. Fun.
That's what I think I already see.
Good time. Yeah,
oh no, that's the other one. I'm watching
it. I think with Russia.
Well, we'll play again.
We have something to announce maybe by Tuesday. I'll be speaking to President Putin on Tuesday. A lot of work's been done over there. We want to see if we can bring that war to an end. Maybe we can, maybe we can't, but I think we have a very good chance.
What sort of concessions will you be seeking to have Putin make to get a deal done?
Well, I think we'll be talking about land. There's a lot of land. It's a lot different than it was before the war, as you know. We'll be talking about land. We'll be talking about power plants. That's a big question. But I think we have a lot of it already discussed very much by both sides.
You'll ask him
Ukraine and Russia.
You'll ask him to give up.
We're already talking about that. Dividing up certain assets. Yeah. And they've been working on that.
Are you concerned though that
it's not that bad.
About what?
Airstrikes again. Are you concerned about any retaliatory measures in Canada?
No, I'm not. Go ahead.
Mr. President, do you plan to comply with the judge's order regarding rehiring the federal workers?
What are you talking about?
The appointee judge that ruled that the federal government has to rehire the fired federal workers. Do you plan to comply
Well,
with
I think it's absolute. I have nothing to do with that other than I heard about the decision. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely. It's a judge that's putting himself in the position of the President of the United States, who was elected by close to 80 million votes. And you have more and more of that. It's a very dangerous thing for our country. And I would suspect that we're going to have to get a decision from the Supreme Court. And it's a very dangerous decision for our country. These are people, in many cases, they don't show up for work. Nobody even knows if they exist. And a judge wants us to pay them even if they don't know they exist. If they exist. And I don't think that's going to be happening, but we'll have to see. You have to speak to the lawyers about that.
Sir, did the administration, actually speaking of orders, violate Judge Boasberg's order in sending back the Venezuelan gang members and not bringing them back?
I don't know. You have to speak to the lawyers about it.
Are you planning to do more deportations?
I can tell you this: these were bad people. That was a bad group of, as I say, comrades. That was a bad group. When you look at them and you look at the crimes that they've committed, you take a look. You don't get any tougher. You don't get worse than that. You understand that. But you'd have to ask the lawyers.
Sir, there's been some criticism that the Alien Enemies Act has only been invoked 3 other times. They were all during times of war. Do you feel that you're using it appropriately right now?
Well, this is a time of war because Biden allowed millions of people, many of them criminals, many of them at the highest level. They emptied jails out. Other nations emptied their jails into the United States. That's an invasion. And these are criminals, many, many criminals. Murderers, drug dealers at the highest level, drug lords, people from mental institutions. That's an invasion. They invaded our country. So this isn't, in that sense, this is war. In many respects, it's more dangerous than war because, in war they have uniforms. You know who you're shooting at. You know who you're going after. These are people that came out. They're walking on streets. We have thousands of murderers. And Biden and his incompetence. First of all, he's grossly incompetent. But then Biden and his people and his probably auto pen. It looked like we had an auto pen for a president. And we would have been better off than we had probably. But it looks to me like that's a big subject. I'm sure you won't ask about that. But the whole subject of AutoPen, did he know what he was doing? Did he authorize it? Or is this somebody in an office, maybe a radical left lunatic, just signing whatever that person wants? That's not what it's all about. I've never used it. I mean, we may use it as an example to send some young person a letter because it's nice. We get thousands and thousands of letters and letters of support for young people, for people that aren't feeling well, etc. But to sign pardons and all of the things that he signed with an auto pen is disgraceful.
Mr. President, as markets and consumers continue reacting to tariffs, as markets and consumers react to tariffs, do you have any inclination to create exceptions or hold up on it?
About what?
To create exceptions.
Best way to get rid of stinky dog breath? Crunchy veggies for natural cleaning? Nope. Green chews from the pet store? Nope.
About what?
To create exceptions, still aluminum tariffs.
No, I have no intention of it.
Is this your
April 2nd is a liberating day for our country. We're going to be getting back some of the wealth that very, very foolish presidents gave away because they had no clue what they were doing. And April 2nd, I would have made it April 1st, but you know what April 1st is? April Fool's Day, I figured. I don't like doing it, but I made it April 2nd. But it's a liberation day for our country because we're going to be getting back a lot of the wealth that we so foolishly gave up to other countries, including friend and foe. Yes, go ahead.
You talked about the hangover from the Biden economy. Is this your economy now?
Certain things are. Certainly tariffs are, which we've already taken in billions of dollars. We've taken in already billions of dollars, and we haven't even really started the program other than certain areas, certain pinpointed areas, as you know. And many billions of dollars have already come into our country. The big money is coming in on April 2nd, from April 2nd. But I will tell you what is more. When I took it over, eggs were through the roof, and now eggs are down 35% over a short period of time. And other things, fuel, gasoline, energy is down, way down. Oil is down to $65 a barrel. It was $82 a barrel. And when energy comes down, pricing is going to come down. Prices for groceries, etc., are going to come down. So, I think we're setting a good table.
Sir, on April 2nd's tariffs, are you planning to do sectoral and reciprocal tariffs? Will you do sectoral tariffs too?
What do in certain cases, it's going to be reciprocal. In other words, whatever they're charging, we're charging. Very simple. If they're charging us, we're charging them. It's no longer they charge us and we don't charge them. It's foolish presidents. And Biden, others also. In all fairness, look, Biden is the worst president we've ever had. He made Jimmy Carter look like a good president. But for this, a lot of other presidents were guilty also. Some very good presidents were guilty. They charge us, and we charge them. Then in addition to that, on autos, on steel, on aluminum, we're going to have some additional tariffs.
Mr. President?
Yeah.
So to follow up on the Biden auto pen, are those executive orders, those warnings from the president now null and void?
Well, I think so. It's not my decision. That'll be up to a court. But I would say that they're null and void because I'm sure Biden didn't have any idea that it was taking place. And somebody was using an auto pen to sign off and to give pardons to, as an example, this is one example, but the J6 Unselect Committee. They gave, think of it, they gave pardons with an auto pen. I don't think Biden knew anything about it. And what they did is they deleted and destroyed all of the information that took them over a year to get. And the reason they did that is because the information was very incriminating about them. Like Nancy Pelosi was determined conclusively that she knew about 10,000 soldiers and turned it down. And if we used 500 soldiers, you would have had no problem, let alone 10,000. The young lady that said that I grabbed these powerful young Secret Service agents by the neck. Okay, you know that was a big hoax. It was a lie. And she admitted it. And they deleted everything. So, you know, what they did is criminal. I think we're about to land, everybody. Okay? Have a good time. We'll see you very soon.
Are you going to the Kennedy Center tomorrow?
I am. I'll see you at the Kennedy Center. You know, we have to straighten it out. It's not a good situation, like everything else in this country.
Do you worry because Vice President Vance was moved there a couple days ago that you maybe try to...
And he's doing a great job. He's doing a great job. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President.
The most difficult countries you can play in Supremacy 1914. When you start a new match in Supremacy 1914.
All right, so let's get to the other one. But did you guys all see about the Did you guys see the thing regarding about the that when the prosecutor actually hit Trump with her mic? Here, I'll get it clear now.
It's 9:03 a.m., and you can already tell it's going to be one of those mornings. So you turn on the NPR One app. It's NPR One. And hear a stream of hand-picked stories. You keep on listening because you hear another story. Then another. And another. Which means your favorite morning show lasts as long as you want it to.
What's up, guys? It's Benny.
All right, you guys should watch this one here.
Attacking state-run media in countries they don't fly.
We can get it to
Korea or China, Cuba, or in Russia. Is always state-run propaganda. It's bad, right? Unless we do it, of course. Libs do plenty of this. The federal government in this country funds a ton of state-run propaganda. Voice of America, that President Trump is trying to shut down right now, is a good example. NPR is another good example that wouldn't be able to exist without the tens of millions that are poured into its coffers from the American taxpayer to push left-wing, conspiracist, psychotic, truly deranged reporting. They are people who hate, at the very least, 70% of this country, and we shouldn't be funding them. Now, has that hatred actually spilled over into a physical attack on Donald Trump, not just a attack from the press on Donald Trump, funded by the taxpayers, which is insane. We must cut NPR funding, but also a physical attack on Donald Trump. This is getting really scary. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. First off, the vast majority of Americans want to defund NPR. We should do it. This is a winning issue. Defund NPR after watching this clip. Check this out.
You got to put your mouth to get the 100%.
Story tonight.
Right? That's her. Did you see that?
Hit in the face by a large, heavy microphone right in the mouth while standing on the tarmac at Andrews Air Force Base, waiting for the planes to take off. The reason why there are big mics there is because the plane engines are running, and this is how the reporters get the sound from the principal. But nonetheless, I've never, ever seen a reporter get hit in the face by a mic here. Many people saying, wait a second, this is a horrible threat to Donald Trump. There could be a pathogen on that microphone. It could have been turned into a physical weapon or a biological weapon. There could have been anthrax. There could have been fentanyl. You could have killed President Trump here. Either way, it's just horrifically disrespectful. And lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, we now know exactly who smashed President Trump in the face with the microphone. It is a reporter at NPR, and you're going to not be shocked to learn this is a psychotic liberal reporter who has Trump derangement syndrome, who hates President Trump, and maybe did this on purpose. Here we go. It turns out the NPR reporter that hit Trump in the face with a microphone is a rabid Trump hater. I'd say press charges because it was clearly intentional. If she did that to a cop, she'd be arrested. So why is President Trump any different? Laura Loomer here with the scoop. I've identified the reporter. Her name is Danielle Kurtzleben. She is a newly appointed White House reporter for NPR, a massive Trump hater and alphabet advocate who once suggested during the 2024 campaign that Trump only spoke in Howell, Michigan, because it has ties to the KKK. Did she hit President Trump on purpose? In our recent reporting, we obviously identified this reporter right here because she's clearly the one holding the mic that matches the mic in the video. Now, obviously, President Trump's team knows who this reporter was because the press pool here is tight. It's a closed press pool. Only a certain number of reporters get to travel with the president and ask him questions. So they clearly knew who it was. She's been on this beat for not too long, but she is a 26-year-old, and well, here's her profile. NPR presidential campaign correspondent 2024, a real piece of work, she says. Laura Loomer saying that she has a vicious anti-Trump bias. Here's the video in which she said that Trump may have only chosen to speak in Howell, Michigan because of KKK and white supremacy. Why did the White House allow this woman to get so close to President Trump, holding a microphone as a weapon? Danielle Kurtzleben, the woman who hit President Trump in the face with a boom microphone, is definitely a Democrat and a Kamala Harris supporter. While she was reporting on the presidential debate between President Trump and Kamala Harris in 2024, she wrote, the vice presidential debate is especially significant because the only way the presidential debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, NPR's Danielle Kurtzleben says, Waltz will defend Harris's record. The vice president has only been a candidate for around 2 months. Meanwhile, Vance may attempt to make Trump's widely acknowledged loss to Harris in the presidential debate. She said Trump lost to Harris in the debate, which is absolutely biasing, for sure. For sure. There are many people who say that either that debate was a draw or that President Trump won, and she has now locked her account, as you can well imagine. Oh, look, she follows us. Uh-oh. So she's now locked her account, ladies and gentlemen. Yikes. Here we go. The Gateway Pundit. Far-left NPR journalist Danielle Kurtzleben revealed as the woman who hits Donald Trump in the face with a boom mic. I mean, listen, the reality is that your actions have consequences, and you can't just continue on. Your actions have consequences, and you can't just continue on in this role. Should she be fired? Absolutely, because I think that all of NPR should be shut down.
Yep.
Should she be able to hold a giant microphone that could, be used as a weapon against Donald Trump? Again, it could be used as a physical weapon. You could have put something very sharp in the end of your microphone if you really are nefarious, or you could, we've already seen biological warfare, biolabs in Ukraine, biolabs in China, the COVID virus, release and creation by Dr. Fauci. You could absolutely have put some type of dangerous biologic on that and hit Trump right in a contagion point, right in his mouth. I mean, how dangerous is this? It's horribly dangerous. I think that President Trump, actually, after all this, should have a phalanx of Secret Service in front of him during all of this who like can control the microphones, right? Not that they're going to stop reporters from asking questions. They just control where these people are shoving these mics right into Trump's face. I think that's what happened. I think that's common sense. Danielle Kusleben locked her ex account. Defund NPR. This is not going to help NPR's image for sure. She needs to be fired immediately, everybody's saying. She has to be fired. I mean, you can't hit the president in the face. Could you imagine this happening to any other president? We asked Grok, has any president been ever hit in the face with a microphone? No. The answer is no. No other president's ever been hit in the face with a microphone. Dude, okay, how liberal is Danielle Kusleben? Danielle Kusleben here, this is her one time that we were able to find on camera. She has pink hair. She's a literal pink hair activist masquerading as like extremist activist background, get a chance to shove a microphone literally directly into Trump's face. And more importantly, why wasn't this reporter immediately taken away? That's what I want to know, right? This is what I want to know. Why wasn't she immediately removed? Maybe arrested? I don't know. Here we go. I mean, you can see her. Did they get her mic? Did they check it? They run her mic through like a full biologics? Did they immediately detain her and ask her questions? If not, this is a huge L for the Secret Service. You should not be allowed to do this. By the way, let me make something very clear. I think that President Trump handled this like a champ. But also, if somebody smacked Barack Obama in the face with a microphone, and let's just say that person was, I don't know, Peter Doocy, was an example of a right-wing reporter. There really aren't any right-wing reporters at the White House. Maybe now they're letting like Real America's Voice and Breitbart in the White House. So let's say somebody from Breitbart hit Barack Obama in the face with a mic, a big heavy mic. You know, those mics and those mic arms, they're like 30, 40 pounds. Do you think that person would like escape criminal charges? Could you imagine? Yeah. Do you think it was intentional? I mean, you can see, here it is. Here's the video. So this is the best that we have, is that video right there.
Yeah.
So you can see the lead up right here. Here's your problem. There's the mic, and then you can see the mic. It's clearly her. So it's really time, like President Trump handles it like an absolute G.
Yeah.
But it's absolute time for there to be major consequences, and maybe to NPR.
She should have been charged.
That defunds NPR. I'd love to see that.
Kick the fuck out of there.
Share and subscribe. Danielle Kusleben. Should she face criminal charges?
All right, Jerk will post a in there. All right, Jerk will post a in there. Excuse me.
Trump. We're gonna make America great again. We're gonna make America great again. Oh my gosh, stop the fascists. Stop the fascists. Oh my God. Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are welcome. You guys are welcome. Hey. Yeah, you're gonna lose your job. Hey, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for showing people what fascism looks like.
Come on.
No, you interrupted our
Thank you.
event.
Look, he won't shake my hand. Come on. Thank you.
Because you don't engage in dialogue.
Oh,
Dialogue is what's supposed to happen.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here. I'll give you an interview anytime you'd like. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for being here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, what we have here is we got a bunch of white liberals, and that's what it is.
That's how fascism gets started.
Is that fascism or is that free speech? Is that fascism or is that the First Amendment, sir? You don't like the First Amendment, do you? Do you like the First Amendment, sir? Do you like the First Amendment? Just wondering. One quick question. One quick question, sir. Do you love the First Amendment, sir? Quick question. He don't like the First Amendment, guys. He don't like it. He don't like it at all. Man, this party broke up quick. I gotta go.
That's how we get her done, son. Come on.
Ultra Fire cervical care pillow. Even orthopedic doctors are using it. Orthopedic expert recommendation. Cervical traction pillow.
Try to get the other one there.
Developed by more than 30 engineers. Each area has been professional to provide comfort for all sleeping positions. Support the neck and shoulders. Relieve neck and shoulder pain.
Yeah. Let's see, where was it at? This one here. Yes, they did. They left pretty quick there. So he's it's shifting there. Oh, this one there. That's the one over there. All right, here we go. You guys probably heard it. You guys probably, I don't know if you guys seen this one. Okay, let's go.
People he'd trusted. He opened his laptop, searching the Church of Lukumi Babalu I ruling.
Oh, you guys are probably, man, this is another DC, it's a DC judge.
I was wrong. For the first time in 30 years, Hargrove felt small. He called the council, voice hoarse. I'm resigning, but I want to help fix this. The next day, Hargrove appeared at a small council meeting, no longer in a judge's robe. I didn't see my own bias, he said. Eyes red. Caroline Levitt opened my eyes. I want to join the training, so no one repeats my mistakes. Linda nodded, noting Hargrove's turning around. Could be useful. The news spread, sparking debate. Some on X mocked Hargrove's faking it, but others supported, at least he admits fault rare. Caroline, back in her office, got an email from Linda. Hargrove resigned, agreed to train. You changed him. She glanced at the cross in the mirror, smiling. The case she'd come to observe, the Christian group suing the government, was now just a small part of a bigger story. She'd turned an ordinary day into a spark for change, not just for Hargrove, but for the whole system. Just 4 days after the incident, at the D.C. local court, the atmosphere in Washington shifted noticeably. Caroline Levitt stood in her White House office, gazing out the window at Pennsylvania Avenue. The silver cross on her navy blazer collar still shone, now a symbol of a movement bigger than she'd imagined. Her phone buzzed with messages from Trump, conservatives and everyday people, thanking her for speaking up. An email from the D.C. Judicial Council had just arrived. New regulations passed. Thank you, Miss Levitt. She smiled, knowing this victory wasn't hers alone. After the lightning-fast investigation, the council issued new rules for D.C. courts. No bans on religious symbols, unless they genuinely disrupt, and all staff, from judges to clerks, must undergo mandatory First Amendment training. Linda
That's not the whole, why is it not playing?
ahead. Before diving into the story, comment where you're watching from, and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the latest stories. Caroline Levitt pushed through the glass doors of the D.C. local court, stepping into a stifling, chaotic space. The crowd's murmurs rang out like an off-key symphony. Citizens awaiting minor cases, traffic violations, contract disputes, mixed with the clacking of keyboards from the clerk's corner. She glanced at her watch, 2:53 p.m. Just a few minutes remained before the religious case hearing began, the one Trump wanted her to monitor closely. Caroline chose a hard wooden chair in the middle row, set down her document bag, and opened her phone to take notes. The silver cross on her neck glimmered under the fluorescent lights, but she didn't notice the eyes around the room fixating on her. The courtroom wasn't large, but its clutter made it feel oppressive. A middle-aged man in a t-shirt printed with "I am king" sat a few seats away, fiddling with his phone. To her right, a young woman wearing an oversized necklace, shinier than a chandelier, whispered to her lawyer. Caroline frowned. Clearly, dress code rules here weren't strict. She focused on her task, documenting details of the Christian group suing the government for banning public prayer in a local park. This was an issue Trump wanted to turn into a symbol for conservatives, and she was his eyes here. The wooden door behind the judge's bench swung open, and Judge Charles Hargrove stepped out. At 62, he carried a rigid demeanor, salt and pepper hair combed back, wire-rimmed glasses slipping down his nose, and a black robe pressed flat as if just ironed. The crowd fell silent as he sat, his cold, sharp eyes scanning the room. "All rise," shouted James Wilson, a tall black bailiff with a stern face. Caroline stood with the others, phone still in hand, her gaze studying Hargrove. Start of the session. "This is a court of law, not a place to show off personality," he declared, his voice deep but cutting like a knife. Hargrove began calling cases swiftly. A man fined for parking in the wrong spot, $50, no argument. A woman late on rent payments. Hargrove ran things like a machine, efficient but cold. She glanced at the man in the "I am king" t-shirt. He stood to present a neighbor dispute, and Hargrove didn't mention his flashy shirt. The woman with the oversized necklace was called up too, no word about her jewelry. Caroline frowned again. Something was off. Then Hargrove's eyes landed on her. He stopped mid-sentence, his hand flipping through papers, stalling. His eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses narrowing as if recognizing something. "Miss Leavitt?" he said, his voice icy but with a hint of hesitation, clearly having recognized the familiar face from White House press briefings. Caroline looked up, unsurprised, standing with natural composure. The crowd turned to look at her, murmurs rising as a few others recognized her too. "That cross," Hargrove pointed at her neck, his tone rigid. "It doesn't belong here. The courtroom is a neutral place, not somewhere to display faith." Caroline glanced around. No prohibitive sign hung on the walls. She replied, her voice clear and confident. "I'm Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, here to observe a case for work. This is a personal item, protected by the First Amendment, violating no rules." Hargrove squinted, his face reddening. "Work? This isn't the place to wear that and cause trouble. The courtroom is neutral, not a church." He banged his gavel again, as if to emphasize his authority. Near the bench, tilting his head to observe. Mrs. Thompson, the middle-aged court clerk with her hair in a tight bun, stopped typing, glancing at Caroline with curiosity. The man in the t-shirt and the woman with the oversized necklace whispered to each other, clearly surprised that Hargrove didn't notice them. Caroline stood still, gripping her phone tightly. She realized instantly, Hargrove wasn't just targeting her, but the cross itself, a symbol he seemed to despise. "Sir, I have the right to wear it under the First Amendment," she said, her voice calm but firm. Hargrove cut her off immediately. "Don't lecture me on the law. Step up to the bench, now." The crowd held its breath. Caroline took a deep breath, stepping up to the defendant's stand, her heels clicking lightly on the old wooden floor of the D.C. local court.
A simple thumb trick discovered by NASA scientists could be the key to reversing memory decline.
And her heels clicking lightly on the old wooden floor of the D.C. local court. The room fell silent, all eyes fixed on her. The silver cross on her navy blazer collar glimmered under the lights, like a small flame amid an approaching storm. Judge Charles Hargrove sat elevated, his eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses narrowing further, his face growing red with anger. "So what are you doing here with that thing, Miss Leavitt?" he asked, his voice low but sharp as a razor, clearly trying to maintain an air of authority. "Sir, I'm here on duty, and have the right to wear it," she replied, still clutching her phone, her thumb discreetly switching on the recording mode. Hargrove banged his gavel on the desk, the sound echoing through the room. I've seen plenty of people like you, thinking faith gives them the right to disrupt anywhere. This is my courtroom, and I say it's not allowed. He leaned forward, gripping the gavel tightly. Do you know this behavior is contempt of court? Caroline furrowed her brow, quickly glancing around the room. The man in the I Am King t-shirt sat there, unnoticed. The woman with the oversized necklace whispered to her lawyer, ignored. Yet her tiny cross was the problem. Sir, I'm not disrupting anything, she replied, her voice still steady. I'm here for work, and my attire doesn't affect anyone. If you have a specific ban, I'd like to see the written rule. Hargrove smirked, a cold, humorless grin. A rule? I am the rule here. You walked into my courtroom with that, disrespecting the law. And now you dare demand a document. He banged the gavel again, so hard that Mrs. Thompson, the clerk, stopped typing and looked up with concern. The crowd began to murmur. An older man in the back row shook his head, whispering to his neighbor, "That necklace over there's bigger. Why's no one saying anything?" James Wilson, the bailiff, stood near the bench, tilting his head to observe. He'd worked here 15 years, and Hargrove's focus on Caroline felt familiar.
Yes.
Not the first time he'd seen this bias. Caroline took a deep breath, knowing a direct argument wouldn't sway Hargrove. She chose the long game. "Sir, if I've broken a rule, I have the right to a clear explanation," she said, her hand subtly adjusting her phone to ensure the recording didn't stop. Hargrove sneered, clearly taking her words as a challenge. "Explanation? Here's your explanation. I'm fining you $500 for contempt of court." He banged the gavel a third time, the sound ringing like a final verdict. The crowd gasped. Mrs. Thompson looked up, fingers pausing over the keys, her eyes uneasy. $500? A young woman whispered to her friend. "Just for a cross?" The man in the I Am King t-shirt let out a small chuckle but quickly silenced himself as Hargrove glared his way. "You'll pay it today before you leave," Hargrove continued, his tone like a lecture. "Maybe this fine will teach you to respect order. This isn't a church, Miss Levitt, nor a stage for your performance." He leaned back, smug, as if he'd just won an unchallenged fight. Caroline stood still, her sharp eyes fixed on Hargrove. "Sir, I understand your ruling," she said, her voice even but laced with resolve. "But I have the right to ask, why aren't the others in this room with printed shirts, big necklaces fined too?" Hargrove's face flushed, his hand gripping the gavel until his knuckles. "You're the only one here bold enough to bring a religious symbol into my courtroom. That's the difference." Caroline nodded slightly, as if confirming her suspicions. She said no more, but her mind was clear. Hargrove wasn't just biased, he was targeting Christian faith deliberately. Mrs. Thompson resumed typing, but her fingers trembled. In her 12 years as Hargrove's clerk, she'd rarely seen him fined so harshly for something so trivial. James Wilson stood near the bench, arms crossed, his glance at Caroline carrying a hint of empathy. He'd watched Hargrove handle hundreds of cases, and this focus on the young woman stood apart. The crowd's whispers grew louder, some sneaking out phones despite the no filming rule. Caroline stood there, still holding her phone, her mind racing. She knew this wasn't just a fine, it was a chance to expose something bigger. "Are you done, sir?" she asked, her voice soft but cutting. Hargrove frowned, caught off guard by her composure. "Not yet," he replied. "You'll pay, and I'll move on with the session. Sit down." Caroline didn't sit. She stepped closer to the bench, resting her hand on its edge, her eyes never leaving Hargrove. "I'll pay, but we're not done here," she said, her voice low but brimming with determination. Faltered slightly. Caroline Levitt stood firm at the defendant's stand, her gaze locked on Judge Charles Hargrove. Silent challenge. Hargrove had just fined her $500 for contempt of court. His face flushed red with triumph, his hand still gripping the gavel. The crowd in the D.C. local court held its breath, the murmurs fading. Mrs. Thompson, the clerk, stopped typing, her anxious eyes darting between Caroline and Hargrove. James Wilson, the bailiff, stood with arms crossed, tilting his head as if anticipating something bigger. Hargrove broke the silence. Did you hear me, Miss Levitt? $500 payable today. Sit down, we have other business. He banged the gavel, signaling an end. But Caroline didn't budge. She took a deep breath, placed her hand on the bench's edge, and spoke, her voice clear, calm, yet sharp as a blade. Sir, before I sit, I need to clarify a few things for the record. Hargrove frowned, caught off guard by her steadiness. The record? You've got no right to demand anything here. He snapped, but his voice wavered, as if sensing something coming. Caroline gave a slight smile, not taunting, but the confidence of someone in control. She pulled a small gold gleaming card from her document bag, and held it up for all to see. I'm Caroline Levitt, White House Press Secretary. What you don't know, Judge Hargrove, is that I don't just talk well, I know the law, deeper than you might think. The crowd gasped. The man in the I Am King t-shirt gaped. The woman with the oversized necklace whispered to her lawyer. Hargrove froze, his hand on the gavel, still.
What happens to your skin when you soak in baking soda? 3 doctor-approved tips.
Using a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon.
His hand on the gavel, stilled mid-air. That doesn't change the fact that you broke my rules. Hargrove muttered, his voice fading. But Caroline didn't let him regain his momentum. She stepped closer to the podium, her voice echoing throughout the room. Your rules, or your personal bias? I'm here on the president's orders to observe a religious case, a group of Christians suing for their right to pray in public. This cross, she pointed to her neck, is my religious freedom protected by the First Amendment. You fined me for it, but do you know what the law says? Hargrove's face reddened, trying to push back. I don't need you teaching me the law. This is my courtroom and I decide. Caroline cut him off, her voice firmer than ever. You're wrong, sir. The law isn't yours alone. Let me remind you of Church of Lukumi Babalu IV, City of Hialeah, 1993. The Supreme Court ruled that banning religious symbols without just cause violates the Constitution. Do you have a just cause? Or is it just because you don't like it? The crowd fell dead silent, a few sneaking phone photos despite the rules. Hargrove Thompson held her breath, fingers hovering over the keys. James Wilson nodded slightly, eyes alight. He'd seen many. Caroline pressed on, her voice like a rehearsed speech. You fined me $500 for contempt, but I've got proof right here in this room. That man, she pointed to the I Am King t-shirt wearer, wears a printed shirt clearly against dress code, yet you said nothing. She pointed to the woman with the big necklace. She's got flashy jewelry, but you're silent. Only my cross, a Christian symbol, angered you. That's not law, sir. That's bias. Hargrove trembled, his face shifting from red to pale. You're slandering me, he stammered, his voice weak, unconvincing. Caroline didn't stop. She raised her phone. I've recorded everything from when you called me up to now. I've also texted the White House office, reporting this injustice. You want to fine me? Fine. But this doesn't end here. The crowd erupted in whispers. Someone shouted, "She's right." Another clapped, quickly hushed by James Wilson. Hargrove panicked, grasping for control. Miss Leavitt, I can withdraw the fine. No need to escalate this. He banged the gavel feebly, his voice shaky. But Caroline shook her head, her gaze unwavering. No, sir. Withdrawing it because of who I am only proves you're more wrong. The issue isn't me, it's how you run this court. I demand you review the past 6 months' record. Propose mandatory First Amendment training for court staff, including you. The courtroom exploded. The older man in the back stood, clapping, yelling. That's right. A young woman whispered, "Who is she?" Amazing, Mrs. Thompson typed furiously, capturing every word, her eyes gleaming as if witnessing history. James Wilson smiled discreetly. He'd known she was special from the start. Hargrove slumped into his chair, face ashen, hands trembling on the gavel. He looked at Caroline, truly seeing her for the first time, not as a defendant, but as a formidable foe. You think I'm just a spokesperson, Caroline said, her voice low but powerful, but I've worked with President Trump through countless lawsuits, from elections to policy. I taught myself law to defend him, and now I'm using it to defend myself and others. You just made a big mistake, Judge Hargrove. She placed her White House card on the bench, stepped back, her eyes never leaving him. Hargrove opened his mouth but said nothing. He knew he'd crossed someone not just smart, but a legal genius. The crowd erupted again, scattered applause breaking out. Mrs. Thompson typed faster than ever, as if to preserve the moment forever. James Wilson stepped closer to the bench, his eyes full of respect for Caroline. Hargrove sat there, his authority crumbling before everyone's eyes. Caroline stood still, the cross still shining, no longer just a symbol of faith, but her flag of victory. Late afternoon sun glinting off the silver cross on her navy blazer collar. The clock read 3:30 p.m., but the air inside had just exploded like a bomb. She paused at the glass doors checking her phone. The recording had been sent to the White House office, along with a brief message to Trump's advisor. Hargrove fined me for the cross, handled it. Next steps needed. She knew this wasn't just personal anymore. It was a chance for Trump and conservatives to score big. Inside the courtroom, the crowd was still buzzing. The older man in the back turned to his neighbor, voice trembling. I've never seen anyone knock out a judge that fast. A young woman with her boyfriend whispered, she's the White House press secretary. Incredible, Mrs. Thompson. The clerk hurriedly printed the session transcript, her hands shaky as she processed what she'd witnessed. James Wilson, the bailiff, left the courtroom, phone in hand, calling a colleague, you've got to hear this. A young woman just silenced Hargrove. The news began leaking out, spreading like wildfire through dry grass. Caroline hadn't even reached her car when her phone buzzed wildly. A notification from X, the hashtag #CrossInCourt was trending. She opened the app and saw the first tweet from someone at the scene. Judge finds White House press secretary. The law leaves him speechless. #CrossInCourt. Within 10 minutes, hundreds of comments poured in. A major conservative account tweeted, proof the system's against Christians. Thank you, Caroline Leavitt. She gave a small smile, knowing this wave was just beginning. At 4 p.m., President Trump jumped in. He posted from his personal account, Caroline Leavitt, my amazing spokesperson, just taught a leftist judge a lesson on religious freedom. Legal genius, we won't let them suppress faith. The tweet racked up over 50,000 retweets in 30 minutes. Conservative outlets like Fox News pounced, running headlines. White House press secretary faces off with judge over cross and wins big. Caroline got a call from Trump's senior advisor. You did great, his voice beamed. The president wants this amplified. Prep a statement. Meanwhile, Charles Hargrove sat alone in his office behind the bench, dim light casting shadows on his pale face. His phone rang non-stop. D.C. Judicial Council, reporters, even old colleagues. He silenced it, hands trembling as he held a cold coffee mug. The clash with Caroline hadn't just humiliated him in front of the crowd. It was spreading across the city. He muttered, she's just a young girl. How did this happen? But deep down, he knew he'd collided with something bigger than himself. Mrs. Thompson, still at the courthouse, couldn't stay quiet. She called a friend at a local paper, voice low but firm. I've worked with Hargrove 12 years. He always targets religious symbols, especially Christian ones. That girl today was right. I've got notes to prove it. She pulled a small notebook from her drawer, filled with entries of similar cases. People fined heavily for crosses, warned for Islamic badges, while slogan tees and flash.
Yes, they do. They all need to be charged.
Let this soft mineral melt in your mouth to rebuild your gums and teeth and never need a dentist again. Did you know there is a natural way to regrow teeth and gums that only 3% of the population even knows about? Scientists at the National Institute
fined heavily for crosses, warned for Islamic badges, while slogan tees and flashy jewelry got a pass. She knew she was taking a risk, but after today, silence wasn't an option. James Wilson took action too. He met colleagues in the courthouse break room, recounting the event with emotion. I counted at least 20 times Hargrove fined people for religious symbols this year. Rude t-shirts. He laughs it off. Leave it exposed what we all knew but wouldn't say. A colleague nodded. I'll call the press. This needs to be out there. By 5 p.m., a Channel 7 news reporter stood outside the courthouse, filming live. Today, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt was fined $500 for the city's buzzing. On X, Hashcross in court soared past 100,000 mentions. People shared their own Hargrove stories. He fined me $200 for a prayer badge last year. I saw him scold a mom for a cross in a divorce case. A big account posted a short video someone secretly filmed, her voice ringing out strong. The clip went viral, hitting 1 million views in hours. Caroline sat in her car, parked on a quiet street corner, watching the news explode. She called her husband, a low-key businessman, her voice calm but excited. Honey, I just shut down a judge. This is about to get huge. He laughed over the phone. You always pull off crazy stuff. Stay safe. She nodded, hung up, and opened an email from Trump's office. Prep for a press conference tonight. We're turning this into a win. At home, Hargrove turned on the TV, seeing his face on the evening news. Judge faces backlash after fining press secretary. The bold headline flashed. He switched it off, hands shaking. The Judicial Council had called, demanding he explain himself by morning. He knew his 30-year career was teetering, all because of a 27-year-old and her tiny cross. The next morning, the D.C. Judicial Council's office buzzed like a beehive. News of Caroline Leavitt and Judge Charles Hargrove had swept through Washington, forcing the council to launch an urgent investigation. Linda Martinez, a seasoned investigator with 20 years' experience, stood before a long table, spreading out dozens of case files from Hargrove's court. Her team had been working non-stop since 6 a.m. after receiving an official complaint from the White House office, filed by Caroline last night. We've got 48 hours to report, Linda told her team, her voice firm. Find everything tied to Hargrove and religious symbols. Caroline, meanwhile, sat in her White House office, prepping for tonight's press conference at Trump's command. She reviewed the courtroom recording, sending another email to his advisor. I've got data from X, hundreds accusing Hargrove of bias. Push this hard. Her phone buzzed constantly, messages from lawyers, reporters, and supporters. A law student wrote, "You inspire me. Hargrove fined my mom for a cross once." Caroline smiled, knowing this was no longer just her fight. It had reached thousands. At the courthouse, Mrs. Thompson entered the investigation room, clutching her small notebook. I've tracked 12 years with Hargrove, she told Linda, her voice shaky but resolute. He always targeted religious symbols, crosses, hijabs, anything stand out. But crude shirts or loud jewelry, he let them slide. Linda flipped through the notebook, spotting dozens of cases. September 14th, 2024, man with cross, fined $300 for disruption. October 20th, 2024, Muslim woman with hijab, fined $200 for inappropriateness. Linda frowned. This is gold. Thank you. James Wilson showed up too, offering a handwritten statement. I've been a bailiff there 15 years, he said. Hargrove fined people with religious symbols 3 times more than other violations. I counted once in a day. He hit 5 people for crosses, but ignored 3 in vulgar shirts. Linda jotted notes fast, her team cross-checking with official records. The data soon emerged. Over the past year, 70% of religious symbol fines targeted Christians, averaging $250, double the penalty for other dress code breaches. Charles Hargrove, meanwhile, sat in his home office, facing the council via Zoom. I didn't mean to be biased, he said, his voice weak, hands cradling his head. Linda presented the data. Mr. Hargrove, records show you fined people wearing crosses 80% more harshly than similar violations. How do you explain that? Hargrove fell silent, eyes downcast. He recalled Caroline, her steely voice, her sharp reasoning about the First Amendment. I didn't realize, he mumbled. I thought I was maintaining order. By noon, Linda's preliminary report was complete. This isn't just Hargrove, she told the council. We found 3 other D.C. judges with similar tendencies, though milder. But Hargrove is the clearest case, bias against religion, especially Christianity. The council ordered Hargrove's immediate suspension, pending a final ruling. News leaked out, and X erupted again. # in court. Hargrove. A conservative account posted, Trump's legal genius wins again. Caroline stood before the mirror in the White House briefing room at 6 p.m. Adjusting her blazer, the cross still gleaming, Trump walked in, clapping her shoulder. You made me proud, Caroline. Tonight we show them religious freedom is camera flashes firing non-stop. Yesterday I was fined for wearing a cross, not because I was wrong, but because a judge thought he was above the law, she said, her voice resonating. I fought back not just for me, but for everyone treated unfairly for their faith. The press crowd buzzed, questions flying, but she answered calmly, citing law and X data. Hargrove watched the briefing on TV, hands trembling. He turned it off, sitting in darkness. His phone overflowed with messages, colleagues distancing themselves, reporters hounding him. But what shocked him most was Thompson and Wilson's testimony. People he'd trusted. He opened his laptop, searching the Church of Lukumi Babalu I ruling Caroline mentioned. Reading it, he sighed. She's right. I was wrong. For the first time in 30 years, Hargrove felt small. He called the council, voice hoarse. I'm resigning. But I want to help fix this. The next day, Hargrove appeared at a small council meeting, no longer in a judge's robe. I didn't see my own bias, he said, eyes red. Caroline Levitt opened my eyes. I want to join the training, so no one repeats my mistakes. Linda nodded, noting Hargrove's turning around. Could be useful. The news spread, sparking it. But others supported, at least he admits fault rare. Caroline, back in her office, got an email from Linda. Hargrove resigned, agreed to train. You changed him. She glanced at the cross in the mirror, smiling. The case she'd come to observe, the Christian group suing the government, was now just a small part of a bigger story. She'd turned an ordinary day into a spark for change, not just for Hargrove, but for the whole system. Just 4 days after the incident, at the D.C. local court,
Harvard scientists discovered why some people in their 90s have crystal clear memory. Turns out, they all use this one simple trick. You probably heard that as you age, your memory...
Just 4 days after the incident, at the D.C. local court, the atmosphere in Washington shifted noticeably. Caroline Levitt stood in her White House office, gazing out the window at Pennsylvania Avenue. The silver cross on her navy blazer collar still shone, now a symbol of a movement bigger than she'd imagined. Her phone buzzed with messages from Trump, conservatives and everyday people, thanking her for speaking up. An email from the D.C. Judicial Council had just arrived. New regulations passed. Thank you, Miss Levitt. She smiled, knowing this victory wasn't hers alone. After the lightning-fast investigation, the council issued new rules for D.C. courts. Genuinely disrupt, and all staff, from judges to clerks, must undergo mandatory First Amendment training. Linda Martinez, the lead investigator, stood before the council, stating, "The Hargrove case shows we need more transparency. Training is the first step." A new plaque went up outside the beyond violation. Caroline saw the news on X, where #cross in court still trended. D.C. changes laws thanks to Caroline Levitt. Charles Hargrove, no longer a judge, appeared at the first training session. He stood before dozens of court staff, voice raspy but sincere. "I thought I was fair, but I was wrong. Caroline Levitt taught me to look at myself. Don't let bias blind you." The crowd was quiet, some nodding, Mrs. Thompson, now appointed to oversee the court's transparency program, sat in the front row taking notes. James Wilson, leading training for court bailiffs, added, "We're the eyes and ears here. If we see injustice, we speak up." Hargrove watched them, knowing he was making amends, a small but necessary step. Caroline hung the $500 fine receipt in a glass frame on her White House office wall. It wasn't just a memento, it was a reminder of one person's power to stand up. Trump walked in, clapping her shoulder. "You're a star, Caroline. The religious freedom crowd loves you, and so do I." He laughed heartily, voice booming. "We just won big, keep the momentum going." She nodded, prepping for her next speech at a conservative event in Virginia, where thousands waited to hear the White House's legal genius. The incident's impact stretched beyond D.C. States like Texas, Florida, and Ohio began reviewing their own court rules. Texas's governor tweeted, "Texas will follow." A group of Florida lawyers filed for similar training, citing #cross in court. On X, people posted photos wearing crosses, Islamic badges, or Buddhist bracelets, captioned, "My freedom, no one can ban it." Caroline read these posts, pride swelling. She hadn't expected one courtroom moment to ignite such a movement. The next day, Caroline stood on a stage in Virginia before a crowd of 5,000 waving religious freedom banners. "That day, I just wanted to do my job," she said, voice carrying over the speakers. "But when a judge fined me for my faith, I couldn't stay silent. This isn't just my win, it's ours." The crowd roared with applause, some shouting, "Caroline for president." She smiled, waving, camera flashes popping. The cross gleaming on her neck became a viral image across social media, dubbed by the press as the symbol of resilience. Back in D.C., Mrs. Thompson oversaw new record keeping, every fine now detailed and checked monthly for bias. James Wilson trained young bailiffs, stressing, "Don't be afraid to speak out. Leave it did, and so must we." One evening, Caroline got a letter from Linda Martinez. "You didn't just change Hargrove, you changed the system." Framed fine receipt, reflecting on the journey from one unexpected day to this wave of reform. Trump called at 9 p.m. "The opposition's panicking, and we're winning. Rest up more tomorrow." She laughed. "Thank you, Mr. President. I'm ready." Hanging up, she sat, touching the cross. From a small accessory, it now lit the path she walked, not just for her but for millions. 3 months later, Caroline Leavitt stood at the White House podium, camera flashes firing non-stop. The silver cross on her navy blazer collar gleamed, now a familiar symbol to millions. Before her were reporters, TikTokers, and religious community reps, all waiting to hear her speak on religious freedom. 3 months ago, "I just wanted to do my job," she began, voice echoing. "But when a judge fined me for my faith, I stood up, not just for me, but for all of you. Today, we've changed the system." The crowd clapped, some holding #cross in court signs. Outside, the D.C. local court now had a new plaque in its lobby. "Justice honors all faiths." She received a letter from a young law student. "Miss Leavitt, I was scared to fight. But your cross case gave me courage. I'm starting a free clinic for people discriminated against for faith. Thank you." Caroline read it before her mirror that night, smiling, knowing she'd inspired the next generation. Charles Hargrove, now a volunteer instructor, stood before a training class saying, "I was wrong once. Leavitt taught me justice has no room for bias." Ensuring court transparency. Trump called her, "Caroline, you're my warrior. Keep it up." She nodded over the phone, feeling a greater duty than ever. Caroline stepped onto the White House balcony, gazing at D.C. under the sunset. The cross in her hand wasn't just a keepsake. It was the flame she'd ignited, spreading from a small courtroom across America. "Freedom doesn't come free," she whispered. "It takes fighters." A message arrived. The Judicial Council wanted her to lead a national reform commission. She smiled, ready for the next challenge. From one unexpected day, she'd reshaped laws, inspired others, and proved one person, one belief can shake the world. The story judge finds Caroline Leavitt for wearing a cross, only to discover she's a legal genius, reflects real tensions in today's U.S. society, especially the clash between personal freedom and systemic power. In the current climate, debates over religious liberty, judicial bias, and social media's sway are commonplace. Caroline's finding, by Judge Hargrove for her cross, mirrors how some public officials impose personal views on the law, a pattern Americans see in lawsuits over religious symbols at schools or public spaces. Her counterattack, grounded in the First Amendment and the Church of Constitution, remains a strong shield for freedom, even against injustice. The hash cross in court hashtag, exploding on X, and Trump's backing show the power of social media and political leadership in amplifying individual voices, a trend widespread in 2025 America. The lesson isn't just to stand against wrong. Caroline didn't just argue with Hargrove, she recorded, cited law, and rallied a network from the White House to the public. This teaches us in modern America, where power can be misused, you need evidence like her recording, know your rights through legal arguments, and harness public support. Hargrove's shift from oppressor to reformer also shows dialogue and pressure can turn foes into allies. Be patient yet resolute, like Caroline framing her fine receipt as a symbol, because a small act today can transform the system tomorrow.
Yeah. Amen. She did really good there. She really did really good. You know. She stayed calm, and that's the biggest. Staying calm is the biggest thing. Staying calm and keeping receipts. Have a way to record things, because there are a lot of corrupted judges these days out there. And DC is definitely known for the corrupted judge out there. So, all right, well, everybody, it is definitely getting late there. I know Jericho's probably getting tired. But if the JFK file does get released tomorrow, I could restream it tomorrow. We all can watch it, because I want to watch it too. But so I don't know, I'm thinking, yeah. Like I said, I don't want you guys getting mad at me if because we can play tomorrow, but we all know the DOJ and these corrupted freaking governor they always try to keep things from us. So don't get mad at me if we get the same thing like to the Jeff Gerstein case where they lied to us. You know, I can only play what I basically replay what I see. That's all. So, and I have no clue what time it's gonna be out. No clue, because they didn't give us anybody a time frame. Yeah, I know Jericho was getting tired, so we're gonna let Jericho. We're gonna end the live stream. I'm gonna continue going on. I'm gonna go use the bathroom, and I gotta keep on going tonight. So you guys have a good night. Remember, our channel is 100% viewer funny, and thank you very much for the donation we got tonight. Thank you. That least how about yesterday? I guess I can use it now to get some gas and stuff like that. But yep, I gotta use the bathroom, and then I still got things to do tonight. You guys get some sleep there. Remember, do not forget to pray, and do not forget to call tomorrow. Tomorrow, look here. I'll get the whole thing up there. Hold on. Well, I didn't go back in there. I'll get it back in there. Hold on. Remember to call you tomorrow. Don't forget to call. I'll put there the link that I'll pin the comment again so y'all can remember exactly to call. I don't want you guys all to forget. Hey, where'd it go? Oh, they took it off there already? Oh, it can't be there anymore. Yeah, it's on there, so just remember to call tomorrow. That fucking judge, call. I want his ass out. Impeach his ass, and his ass needs to be in jail. Don't be afraid to do it. So, I don't like I said, I'll let you guys all go.